welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, an edition here of the WardiTV Monday, week number 45, your weekly dose of WardiTV action. It has been far too long. It has been a week since last week. We did, of course, skip the WardiTV Monday as there was a EWC ongoing, but now we're here. Now we are back. EWC has concluded, Fusion Esports League has concluded, and now we have returned with the beginning of the off season. Here we go. The off season has begun, and we are jumping into our fresh best of 3. And this morning, in the bottom right corner of Tokamak, we have the American Terran player, the Blue Terran. It is Medic Jr. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the red Protoss player, and the red Protoss player himself. Oh, it for representing Shaw Rebellion. It is herO from the Netherlands. And of course, if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our initial round of 16 match. Here we go. Again, exclamation mark, be in the chat if you guys might have a look back yourselves. The bracket is alive, the bracket is stacked. Of course, there are some players missing, but a lot of players are still traveling home from Riyadh or resting from their travels, or even traveling to Poland. As a reminder, Rainer, Lambo, and Clem all did travel straight to Poland after Riyadh, and they're still there, I believe, of course, as they did compete in the Fusion Esports League before going back home after their competition, after their tournament. So again, it's been a very intense week of StarCraft. The intensity has, in a way, concluded. Now we can calm things down and embrace our regular weekly tournaments. There's still a lot to catch up on, of course. We have the WardiTV Mondays, we have the Sparkling Tunic Cups, we have the Big Star Mondays, or the Big Star Cups, I should say. You have StarCraft the Evolution League, alongside the Thermal 2v2 tournaments, or 2v2 circuit, I should say, and many, many other events. So there's still a lot ongoing, a lot of StarCraft to indulge in. And this is the beginning of that off season. Let's go. StarCraft every day here, Papi. As always. Let's go. This is time being, we are going to be settling in. We have our double gas opener out of Medic Jr. going for a faster factory, going for a delayed CC. Meanwhile, we do have herO going for a standard opener himself. Does skirt around the edge with this probe in a very interesting manner, but it looks like, okay, never mind. It's just coming in for a scout. Is going to be avoiding the Reaper scout of Medic Jr.'s to keep the probe alive, to come in and to get a read on what's going on, to get an idea of the opener, to get an idea of the timings of the factory of the CC. And he will come in and it will scout the commands that are being thrown down just now. So now he knows that it is going to be a delayed CC. He is aware of said opener. And likewise, we'll zone away the Reaper back at home. We have a continued Reaper Hellion production from our opponents. Probe is going to be shut down, but herO got the information that he wanted. And with Reaper Hellion, we can now gain access. So now we can now be aggressive. We can now gain map control. We can now look to try to get some damage across the map. Oh, just catching up in the chat. Happy Monday, happy Monday, papi, happy Monday. Yeah, bienvenidos, papi, bienvenidos. Originally I was going to be covering GuMiho versus Ragnar into ByuN. Honestly, I feel like that's going to be a really spicy series, and it leads into potentially herO as well. But Wardy, I believe, is going to be covering that series. Is going to be covering that best of 3. So we did find another match to jump into instead. We will eventually join forces. We will eventually come together as one, and I think we're probably going to meet up at some point in the lower half of the brackets. But for the time being, we're trying to spread out, trying to cover as much ground as we can, and we'll see what Medic Jr. has to offer here as he throws down extra Raxes. Okay, setting up for a 3-1-1. Wouldn't mind dropping initially here. We're still waiting for the tech labs, still waiting for the tech of choice here, going into tank production, going into a Banshee follow-up. For the meantime as well, Reaper Hellion doesn't move out, is here in the center, and herO, he can fight this, he can push this back. Oh, does start step forward, does not get the Reaper, just barely not. Medic Jr. does turn back, does pull away. And here's the initial drop. This drop is fanning out here towards the mineral lines. Likewise, Blink is almost done, or is on the way. We have our 3-gate setup, so a very safe setup here. 3 gateways into a 3rd base. A very safe setup here out of herO. Not as safe as going for a Robo on 2 bases, for example, but still is quite secure nonetheless. And it's up to Medic Jr. to determine what exactly is going on. He is going into his own tank production, so tanks are on the way. No tech lab on the Maxes yet. Mind Drop making its way in. And herO, he does scout this ahead of time. Yeah, he reacts, he responds. Blink is not yet. Oh no, Blink isn't done, but despite that, massive shots going off, and the medevac does go down. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, some brutal missteps there from Medic Jr. He did just fly too close to the sun. He got to shut down. He will lose his Reaper Hellion. He will lose his medevac. Everything is on fire here. Everything goes down. Oh no, not like this. Not like this, as we do see Medic Jr. now going into the main base, but Last has lost everything already, and once again herO is able to react in time, is able to warp in, able to shut down that initial Liberator, already taking a lot of damage. No, he's queued in! No! He's queued in, so it's gonna go down. Yeah, it's gonna go down. Ay, ay, ay. Again, unfortunately, Medic Jr. a little bit inattentive to his army, inattentive to his units. And I'm afraid to look. Oh, the efficiency here. Losing 2 pros, we're getting 2 Widow Mines, a medevac, Hellions, the Reapers, the Liberator as well. Everything just going wrong here in a matter of moments for Medic Jr. And it's looking a little bit rough here. Oh, it is looking rough. And with this Medic Jr., he's going to be pinned down. He's going to be contained on 2 bases. Now, he will have the option to go for a 2-base all-in. Do you see what I see? I see 2 Raxes. I see 2 more Raxes. That's going to be 5 in total. No add-ons on these Raxes either, which means Medic Jr., he's going to wait for Stim. He's going to build up his tank count, and he will have the option to pull the boys. I say that he's actually stopping at 2 tanks. He's stopping at 2 tanks here, going for the reactor on the factory instead. He still has the option to commit to the all-in, and I feel like he should probably take that option, especially after all those losses. But I mean, technically, he still can go for a 3rd TC. Oh no! But the tank is going to go down to 1 tank. Yeah, 1 tank left. Bunker pulls as well. And Medic Jr., he is in a rough position here. Now he's losing the backbone of his army. Down to 1 singular tank. Sure, he's going to have Stim and combat shields, but there we go. Yeah, we pull the boys. Again, as you saw, the 5 Raxes, it makes sense here to go for the all-in. Unfortunately, herO does see this at a time. herO already sees this. He does come in from behind to catch any stragglers, to catch any reinforcements, to even force the army back home. Speaking of, yeah, he does find those reinforcements. Gets 1, gets 2 Marauders. Will lose 1 Stalker in the process, but should be able to clean everything up, losing a 2nd Stalker. And it's all or nothing. It's all or nothing here as production is being camped. What you see is what you get. herO, he can always recall. He can always recall back home if need be. Storm is done. No, Storm is complete. He scans. He sees a High Templar. Oh, God. It's going to be difficult to avoid the storms. I don't see this working, unfortunately. It's just hitting a little bit too little too late, especially with only 1 tank. No, 1 storm does land, takes down the SCVs, tank falls as well. GG gets called, and herO, he will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played, herO. He'll take a lead in the series. Unfortunately, just a really, really rough game there for Medic Jr. Everything falling apart, everything falling by the wayside when it came to the harassment, when it came to the aggression. The problem here with losing your medevac, with losing your Liberator, with losing your map presence in such a way is that you relinquish map control very quickly, and it allows your opponent to move out across the map and to gain that map control, right, and to contain you. There's no reason to keep any Stalkers at home to defend against a Widowmine, to defend against a medevac that's right outside the bases, to defend against a Liberator that's sieged outside the bases as well, that can at any moment go back in. Even if you're not killing anything, even if you're not doing any damage, if you keep those units alive, you can always force supply to be kept back at home, force attention for your opponent to be kept back at home, while you can build up and settle into your own 2-base all-in. Likewise, unfortunately, herO was able to slow it down ahead of time. I'm referring to the moment when herO killed the 1st tank. Also really brutal. Like when you're going for that kind of all-in, your tanks are so precious, they're so crucial, they're so important when it comes to actually having any kind of backbone or strength to that army as well. So unfortunate that the tanks were going down ahead of time, and also unfortunate that herO, he saw the move outs from the beginning, right? He was able to spot the all-in, saw the boys being pulled, and of course get ready back at home. So yeah, solid game there out of herO, and we'll see if Medic Jr. can bring it back as we're getting into game number 2. Let's go. Game 2 is going to be on Incorporeal, and this is going to be one of the other larger maps in the map pool, I will say that, but there's always potential, especially on these larger maps, to go for some cheeky openers, to go for some proxies, to hide some production, and maybe to go for something a little bit different. Let's go. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Incorporeal, we have the American Terran player. We have the blue Terran down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. We'll see if he can make a series out of this. It is Medic Jr. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss himself from the land of the Netherlands, representing Shopify Rebellion. It is herO. Hello. As the SV does move out across the map, we'll be skirting around the right-hand side. We'll avoid the main probe scout pattern if there were to be one. And I would imagine we're going to be going in for an eBay block on the low ground. I was assuming we were going to deviate from here and go straight for the mineral line or go straight for the base, but no, we're going for the proxy racks. Not just one, second SCV. Here we go. We have two SCVs moving out. We're going for the proxy 2 racks. Gas is being taken back at home. Let's go. Now with 2, I would imagine from here we can go for add-ons. We can go into Tech Labs, or we can just go 2 racks Reaper. We can try to set up a bunker. Interesting location for the gateway here on the low ground. Very interesting. Not something that I'm used to seeing, to be honest. Typically, we see players, I mean, I was going to say wall off the main base, but true, there is no Reaper cliff into the main, so you can be a little bit more free with the placement of your buildings, is setting up here on the low ground instead. Does go for the gate cyber expand. A bit of a safer start here for herO. Not uncommon to go gate expand instead, so it's being much safer here. Yeah, but there it is. It is going to be proxy Marauder. So Tech Labs are on the way. Marauder's going to be on the horizon. Going proxy Marauder. And herO, he probe scouts. He sees, hold up, he sees one gas. He sees no racks back at home. He knows that something is wrong, something is missing. Oh, he's checking. Yeah, he does see the SCV. And herO, he will check, he will confirm the more common proxy location. He does confirm both Tech Labs. Okay. Now, on the one hand, I do want to say that because of his production setup, he has to defend, he has to fight for the natural. Ideally, against this, you can fight in the main, right? You can try to abandon your natural and take a stand at the main base instead of the main ramp. But again, because of this setup, he has to fight for the low ground instead. So already, this is working a little bit more in Medic Jr.'s favor. Shield battery is halfway done. From here, we're probably going to have to pull a couple of boys to help buffer. Second shield battery's on the way. And we're going to want another pylon as well, as that pylon's quite exposed, powering the shield batteries at least. See what it goes for. But now, yeah, just focuses down the Marauders. Oh, the first one almost goes down. And so far, so good. herO, there's the NG overcharge. He will focus on the first Marauder. He gets one, he gets both SCVs. And this is already falling apart. This is already falling apart here for Medic Jr. Again, he's down to 3 Marauders, but some of them are so very low. There we go, more shield batteries on the way. I wouldn't be opposed to, yeah, there we go. I was gonna say, I wouldn't be opposed to just pulling the boys at this point. Another Marauder goes down. Oof. Yeah, losing 2 Marauders already. Wait, okay, we're losing almost a third. Losing a 3rd Marauder as well. Lead out 1 Stalker. 1 Stalker goes down, and the boys, they feel late. They feel late, to be honest. Ideally, you want to be able to surround this and then shut this down ahead of time. We're down to 4 Marauders. Getting up to 5. There we go from here, diving on in. The probes are being pulled. 1 Stalker does get caught out. Yeah, 1 Stalker gets caught, so the boys, they do take down 1 of the Marauders. Let's go. They do catch 1. There's 2 Stalkers left. More boys being pulled. And the probes are here to tank. They're here to buffer. They will. GG gets called as we do see Medic Jr. running out of steam, and herO, he will shut down the cheese. He will shut down the all-in, and herO does take the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Unfortunately, Medic Jr., he bled out 3-4 Marauders ahead of time. He was losing far too much, far too quickly. Ideally, you want to preserve them, build them up for your boys to arrive, so then you have some kind of buffer. You have some kind of, so I should say, some kind of army behind the buffer. But he only was down to, what, 4 or 5 Marauders towards the end there by the time the boys had arrived. Again, he just bled out too much too quickly, and unfortunately, herO, he also scattered ahead of time as well, right? He recognized something was wrong, he checked the proxy location, he found that ahead of time, so he was able to have that time to react, to respond, and to throw down those shield batteries to set up on the low ground the way that he did, and yeah, to respond in such a manner. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations, herO will claim the series, and let's catch up with the bracket. Let's figure out where we are and where we are headed. As from the top, we do have our top players here. We have MaxPax. MaxPax as the number 1 seed of the tournament. He's at the very top here. He's waiting for the winner of Dash and Hacker is top. We have ByuN just below, waiting for the winner of Shameless and Power. Likewise, scrolling down, we have Rex. Rex is up against Nicorette in the second round as well. We have Lemon waiting for the winner of Hydra and Grape. We have Percival waiting for the winner of Ledlix and Elimisu. We have herO up against herO in the second round. We have Geralt up against herO in the second round, and we have ByuN up against GuMiho. There's a reason why I wanted to originally jump on GuMiho versus Ragnar, because it leads into ByuN, and that leads into potentially herO or Geralt, so that is kind of like the high profile portion of the brackets. But again, Wardy has that section covered, so instead we jumped on herO versus Mage Jr. into herO into this lower portion as well. We'll eventually meet up, we'll eventually catch up with those lower matches. That is the plan. That is the current plan here. But again, congratulations to herO, as he will have the luxury of advancing on to face off against his next opponent. Ay. And that is going to be herO. herO, of course, who is an animal, who's a beast. And I believe herO did defeat herO in recent times. Again, herO, he is a hyper-aggressive player. You thought you saw something from Mage Jr. when it came to cheese, when it came to aggression. Nah. herO, he is the cheesiest Terran player in all of South Korea. The cheesiest player in all of South Korea. And yeah, you don't get more aggressive than herO. So best of luck to herO. We'll see if he can get his revenge. We'll see if he can get his revenge from DreamHack Dallas. Oh boy. For now, though, we're going to be going on a break. We're going to be going on a short break here, and when we come back, when we return, we will have herO versus herO up next. See you soon. See you soon. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the second series of the broadcast. Welcome back to the round 16, as we are jumping in and following herO into his next matchup. Here we go, as spawning in the right-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, representing, I believe, still Streamer Zone. It is herO. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the Blue herO player, the Blue herO player himself, representing the land of the Netherlands and Shopify Rebellion. It is herO. From the land of the Netherlands, representing Shopify. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is? It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. Coming into this is going to be a much closer matchup. Mage Jr., he's more of an amateur player stepping into the ring against a pro. But here we have the big dogs, the big names are facing off against each other. I'll be honest, I still lean a little bit towards herO. I mean, hey, herO did already defeat herSum at Dallas, but now they have the rematch. Now they have the rematch here, and if herSum didn't know the playstyle of herO before, now he has a better idea. For those of you that are in the chat that are maybe new viewers, we've been casting herO for many years, and again, as I mentioned before, he is the cheesiest player in South Korea, or amongst the Koreans, the cheesiest Terran, I should emphasize, because there are some other cheesy Zerg Protoss players, of course, but when it comes to hyper aggressive, hyper cheesy Terran, you do not get cheesier than herO. And here we go, he does nothing but all in this matchup. Sometimes it's a 1-base all in, sometimes it's a proxy, sometimes it's a 2-base all in. It is a rare sight to ever see herO get a 3rd base, specifically in TVP. Against Zerg and against Terran, he will play more standard, but against Protoss, he is unchained. He is unchained, he's an animal, man. He's he is an animal. So we'll see if herSum has learned from his experience. We'll see if herSum can overcome the animalistic nature that is herO. Oh boy. We shall see. So now we do have initial 3x Reaper here out of herO. herSum, he does scroll around across the map. He's going to be scattering across the map here, going to be dipping his toes in towards the main. herO does get across, does lift. And the boys being pulled. Oh, did he see? That would have been close. That would have been very close. Did he spot the boys being pulled? That I'm not so sure about, but here we go. The boys are moving out across the map. The Reapers are massing as well. Back at home, there is a sentry. There's going to be a force field available. That's going to be a big moment here for herSum. Yeah, sentry is spotted. Does spot the sentry. The rest of the Reapers have arrived. They rotate over. Shield batteries on the way. Shield batteries on the way. The boys, they are here. And we're diving on the Stalker, but again, there is that force field. Yeah, for now, going for the shield battery. Again, herSum has a very nice defensive setup here. Yeah, it does pull his own boys. The shield battery does hold, and herSum, he's defending. Yeah, herSum, he's holding, he's defending. He is ready, has Guardian Shield. herO diving on the sentry, but again, that shield battery putting in a lot of work. He does have the energy overcharge as well. We've just used. Yeah, was used. More Reapers have arrived, and we now have a second Stalker. Sorry, 3rd Stalker even. Yeah, up to 3 Stalkers. Pylon taking a lot of damage. The Pylon is going to go down. We'll depower everything. But there's a backup Pylon. Yeah, backup Pylon has completed. Ooh, the sentry still goes down. But there's still 3 Stalkers left. Yeah, the Stalker count is just far too high. And herSum, by now, he would have held. He would have held. He's got another shield battery finishing up as well. He's got his 3 shield batteries. He's ready, he's good to go. Reapers are trying to bust into the main. Oh my god, 1 Reaper goes down. Going back in. Being forced back out. And here he's forced back out. And again, the longer this goes on, the better it is for herSum. herSum is on a 2-base economy. He has a booming economy here compared to herO. And yeah, let's go! Let's do it again. As herO, he has bled out how many Reapers? 3. Ooh, oh no! Oh my god, brutal force field. Losing 4 Reapers. That's a lot of Reapers going down. And here we go. The boys are being pulled. It's all or nothing for herO, but there's so many Stalkers. I'll be honest, I just don't see this working. Not anymore. Right now, he's trading his forcing energy to be spent from these shield batteries. There's a couple of SCVs, but honestly, there's not that many. There's just not that many SCVs here. And once again, does dive in. Does get 1 Stalker. Yeah, 1 Stalker goes down. There's still 7 left. SCVs are going down. The probes are being pulled. And you can see herO is just running out of steam. It's down to 13 Reapers. It does kill a lot of probes, but that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Not anymore. It's about the Stalkers. Down to 11. Does get another Stalker. Down to 4 Stalkers here for herSum. Now warping back in. Getting up to 6. Yeah, he's got a 3-gate setup. And herSum is out at this point. That was the final kind of last-ditch efforts of herO. That was his final push. He too. He scans just to kill the pylon. God damn it. He gets it. Takes out both pylons actually. Depowers everything there. Toast the pylons going down. That is a nice move. There's no blink, there's no robo, there's no immortal. But there's still no army is the problem. There's just not enough. Yeah, and there we go. Star steps in. GG gets called and Hearthstone takes game at number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Hearthstone does take lead in the series, does survive the initial aggression and all-in from herO. An interesting build going 3 racks Mass Reaper into pulling the boys. Very interesting there by herO, but alas is going to be shut down. Hearthstone does take a lead in the series, and the question becomes, what kind of cheese, what kind of all-in is herO going to go for in game 2? Because we know it's going to be an all-in. We know it's going to be an all-in. Could be a proxy. We could go for a 2-base all-in instead and get into 2-base aggression. We could go for a proxy 1-1-1. We'll see. We'll see. We'll find out. Let's go. We are here for it. So now setting up. And here we go, we're just peeking the second game, and we are going to be loading into Persephone. Okay. Getting into Persephone. Players are getting ready. Persephone is going to be an interesting one just because there are certain features that can actually benefit all-ins. I'm referring to the healing pad. We have seen some players actually use it to top up their army, to pull back some weakened units, and to keep them going over time. So that is potentially going to be a factor coming into this. We have the goal base as well. We'll see. We'll see what kind of shenanigans herO has ready for us. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Persephone, we have our South Korean Terran play. We have the Red Terran representing Streamer Zone. It is herO. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Blue Protoss player, the Blue Protoss himself, representing from the land of the Netherlands, representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Hearthstone, leading the series 1-0. Here we go, and again, Hearthstone, he does now have more experience, is now more aware of the kind of player the herO is, and again, just because you know he's going to all-in you doesn't mean you know exactly what is going to happen. So we expect to see some hyper safe play out of Hearthstone. I'm referring to like 3 gates, robo on 2 bases before expanding and getting a 3rd. That sort of play should be in the mind here of Hearthstone. Meanwhile, herO, what are we going for? What is the plan? As we are not proxying. Is there proxy? The Rax is back at home. We are setting up. If herO plays the macro game, does it count as a cheese? Specifically for herO, I would say yes. I would say that probably classifies just because it's so unexpected. But that only works for players that know who he is. True. We could like fake out an aggressive build and then just be hyper greedy behind it and get away with that greed. Meanwhile, we can see Hearthstone skirt around the edge of the map. He's scouting for proxies. Yep, he does check the 3rd location, the 4th location, and he does rotate over towards the triangular 3rd as well. So you can see Hearthstone is being very diligent when it comes to his scouting. Again, he's that much more aware now. I mean, especially after their previous meeting. herO going for an economic opener, going for the Rax expand. Meanwhile, Hearthstone has no idea. Hearthstone does not probe scout across the map. So he's in the dark, at least until the sentry pops out. At least with the pylon, he did. With the scan. Yeah, it was impressive. Got the pylon. herO, he also does scout the proxy locations. Checks the 3rd, checks the 4th, before pulling back. Does pull back. Likewise, we have a second Rax on the way. We're expecting a third Rax. We're expecting a third Rax. If we see a third Rax, 2 base all in. There it is. Third Rax has been thrown down. So we have a 3-1 setup here, all before the starport. Hallucination. Oh, the hallucination scout is denied. Yeah, big moment here. And we do have a second hallucination moving out across the map. herO, he now realized something is wrong. Something is amiss. Nice snipe there from herO. herO is in the dark, but here comes the second hallucination. And it is so difficult to deny Protoss scouting here in this matchup. Hallucinations, they are coming in. At least it does force a second hallucination, but regardless, he will come in from behind it. He will get a full scout of the main. He will see all 3 Raxes. herO confirms 2 base all in. He does confirm. Back at him, what do we have? We have 3 gates. Again, we're expecting 3 gate bling alongside a robo. A robo on 2 bases would be ideal. Then into a delayed third. But so far, he's still playing safe. herO moves out with his Marines. Hellions as well. Behind this, we do have a safety shield battery. Shield battery, we have force fields. Going into charge. Interesting. Charge-based openers are designed to shut down tank all-ins. So very safe play here from herO. What did he see? Yeah, did see. Oh, I mean, we have nanos up regardless. It is going to tank production. Stim is on the way. And so far, herO is holding. You know, we spoke about it. Yep, using the healing pad, topping up those Hellions. Does top them up. Oh, I assumed it was going to be a robo on 2 bases, but we're going for a Templar Archives on 2 bases instead. Which means we can go into really fast Storm. I mean, Storm would shut this down, bearing in mind that we're most likely going to pull the boys. Hallucination confirms there's no extra gases, confirms there's no starport. There's no starport. No follow-up tech. Again, when it comes to this move out, oh, we are supply blocked. But they should hit with like 2 to 3 tanks. They should hit with all the boys as well. We just send it across the map. Aliens, they try to break forward as Storm is on the way. And again, herO, still no expansion. And you would never play this heavy on 2 bases unless you believe that you're being all-in. So just hyper defensive play here from herO. There it is, throwing down 4 more gates, getting up to 7 gateways on 2 bases. Mass Zealot. Now, herO, he sees. I do like this. herO, he sees no expansion. He doesn't see all the gateways, but he sees there is no third, there is no expansion. The Hellions have been scouting diligently, and bam, CC. CC and a starport. herO, he's now building up into a longer game. He sees how defensive herO is, and he knows it's not going to work. He knows that the all-in is not going to work. Now, on the one hand, you might be thinking, you might be looking at this, might be thinking, oh, okay, so it's good that he's expanding, it's good that he's working out of this. The problem here is that now herO can turn this defense into an offense. And right now, herO has momentum, herO has Storm, herO should be pushing out soon, and I don't know if herO can survive that. That's why he's walling up. He's walling up, bunkers are on the way. He's securing himself on 2 bases. And now herO expands. So again, both players were very 2-base heavy. Both players recognize that they cannot kill each other. So we just expand. We just expand from here. Okay. We're getting some macro. This is not the original plan by any means, but we're forcing herO into a third. Oh! 1 Hellion goes down. herO pushes. So herO, he hasn't really seen too much, but herO, once he sees the wall off here, once he sees all these tanks, he shouldn't try to push into this. That would be a mistake. herO just checking for the base, checking for the expansion, pulling back. As the Hellions are called out, nice force field. herO does expand. Now, from here, herO, there is a build that he does enjoy doing here that is 3 base on against Protoss in TVP, where he maxes out essentially with Marine Tank. With Marine Tank here, then he sends everything across the map. So we'll see if he does go for that kind of style. As you can imagine, it can struggle against Storm, of course. But this is very tense. He's going for the planetary at the third. Let's go. Let's go. Planetary at the third base. Again, it would be a mistake for herO to push into this. I mean, he's a little bit more exposed now that he's spread out between his bases, but at the same time, it's going to be difficult. Like, I don't think herO needs to push into this. Okay, he's getting a 4th, thankfully. Getting a 4th base.
Mineral field depleted.
There we go, we have 4 High Templar. He sees the planetary. Sees the planetary, backs up. Moves the main, deflected. See herO respond here to the prism. And again, like herO, he's pretty well fortified here. Outside of storms connecting, I don't really see this being broken. So again, herO, he doesn't have to. He just backs off. Remember, he's getting a 4th base. From here, he can look to tech up even further. Start working towards Colossus. The bay is already done. Oh. Let's force out a storm. Doesn't quite get the High Templar, almost. And storm does zone. I'm diving in. It does threaten the dive. Tank flow is going up. Zell's getting shut down. And from here, they're getting shut down. Again, it's still a very delicate dance. On the one hand, herO could land some incredible storms. On the other hand, we could, of course, EMP. That's Grocer out. Behind this herO, he should be getting a 4th command center, but as you mentioned before, like, he is prone to going for this style where he's about to max. He's maxing out. There it is. 4th CC is on the way. Looking forward. Does break forward. See herO trying to catch at the army. EMP's coming in. Oh, no quite. Still has yet to spend some EMPs. Likewise, there's still 3 High Templar in that prism. Awesome, still looking for another way in. Here go the storms. Yeah, storms do graze the army. Oh, better connection towards the end. High Templar does go down. EMPs do connect with the main army. But we still have those storms. Still have those storms. Raiders have set up. Templar out. Being cheeky. Doesn't storm much. See herO trying to bait the army in. herO going for a massive Zealot counterattack instead. Okay. Does go for an insane Zealot run by. That means that this army is that much weaker. Right now, herO is at his weakest because he's sending so much supply across the map. And herO, does he notice? It doesn't matter. Yeah, Zell say Drew hit the 5th. They do hit the 4th even. Yeah, Zell say get into the natural. High Templar goes down. Zell say pushing in as if he's going to be falling. herO, he's being forced all in. He's going to go. He has to send it. But again, there's so many storms. He's rushing through them. Yeah, he has to run through. Takes down the High Templar. Stalkers are exposed. Colossus as well. And herO plummets in supply. He's pulling a supply here. He's trying to reinforce, trying to warp in. We have 2 more Colossus on the way. At the same time, Zealots are wreaking havoc, killing more SCVs. The army supplies is still close. It's still neck and neck, but the production is under fire. And he should depower both robos. Yeah, he gets one. And we'll get the other. Zealots are killing mainly SCVs, mainly workers. Hearthstone, can he push into this though? Oof. Little mine shots. Mine shots going off. Robo goes down. And we have a Dark Shrine on the way. That's going to be ideal. Likewise, the army's overstimmed. Yeah, the army's overstimmed. Hearthstone collapses in. And Hearthstone will clean this up. Ooh, he comes in from behind, takes out the tank. GG gets called, and Hearthstone, he will take the series at 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations, Hearthstone. You will claim the series. Again, a very interesting game here where herO, he was setting up for a 2-base all-in, and Hearthstone refused to expand. Hearthstone, he's like, hey, I see you're all-in. I'm just gonna stay on 2 bases, get into charge, get into an 8-gate setup, rush into storm as well, and play 2 bases. So both players are kind of playing chicken. They're like, who's gonna come at each other? So in the end, herO flinched. He got a 3rd CC. So did Hearthstone. So in the end, both players were forced to expand. It was still very tense as both armies maxed out, both armies were posturing, and it was a really bold move for Hearthstone to go for the massive zealot counterattack, but it worked beautifully because he forced herO to rush into storm, right? He forced herO's hand to push into all these storms. He didn't want to, he wanted to play it safe, he wanted to play it more carefully, but he had to go in, took a lot of storms to the face. He forced the engage, while Zealots, they kind of forced the base trade. Zealots forced the hand of herO. GG. GG, well played. With that, congratulations, Hearthstone. He will claim the series. And with that, let's catch up on the bracket. Let's figure out what's going on, where we're headed, and what the hell is happening on that bracket. Exclamation mark, be in the chat to have a look at the bracket yourselves. Hearthstone, he's waiting for the winner of Percival and Ledlix. Oh boy. Percival and Ledlix, they are mid-series. Meanwhile, we have herO. herO takes down Geralt 2-0, and herO is waiting for the winner of ByuN and GuMiho. And the other results here, Nickrak takes down Rex 2-0. Lemon is up against Hydra. They're currently mid-series. We do see MaxPax takes down Dash. MaxPax waiting for the winner of herO and Shameless. A lot of really good matches are on the horizon here. But one that stands out to me, of course, we could follow Hearthstone into either Percival or Ledlix. We could wait for their series to open up. But the other option, of course, being ByuN versus GuMiho, as they're currently in game 1. Okay, so that we actually have some time. We actually have some time before they get into game 2, before they go up against Hearthstone. So we have some downtime. Basically, I do want to catch, if we look at the bracket here, in my mind, I do really want to catch herO versus either ByuN or GuMiho. Like, I really want to be a part of that series, but at the same time, ByuN and GuMiho is still in game 1. It's like a 25-minute game. They're still in game 1. So that series is going to take some time, which means I might be able to catch a little bit of these the Hearthstone Percival Ledlix series, potentially, before coming down, especially if ByuN and GuMiho take too long. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I guess whatever's available first. Whether it's Percival versus Ledlix going into Hearthstone, or yeah, I guess we'll try to figure it out. We'll do our best. Meanwhile, just catching up in the chat. Hey, CranKy Ducklings, did you enjoy the EU Sports World Cup? What a run by the GOAT. Seems like Zerg nothing coming. People try to. Okay. Interesting wording. I mean, we were casting EWC here. We were casting the Esports World Cup. It was a lot of fun. Really good matches. I think my favorite matches were Raynor versus Maru and Raynor versus Serral. I think those were really hype and really intense. There were some other really good series, of course. Don't get me wrong. There were a lot of really good matches, but I think those were the most hype and most interesting and most exciting to me. Were those matches overall. I think there was some disappointing series. I mean, herO, he made a post about it. I think when we were casting, we pointed out how herO versus Solar, it felt like herO was not able to really showcase any of his builds or showcase his play. It felt like he just wasn't able to get into his games, and he reiterated that basically. herO, he made a post afterwards saying how he felt like he put in a lot of time, a lot of preparation for the tournament, but didn't really get to show anything. So he felt really what's the word, regretful. He felt really regretful that he just wasn't able to like to show like any of his preparation or any of his like, again, setup for the tournament, which I would agree with based on the games that we casted, of course. So that was definitely a little bit disappointing when it comes to herO's performance. The other big thing, of course, classic, he popped off when it came to his matches. I think herO was looking very impressive. True, that's another series that impressed me, was herO versus herO. herO versus herO was really intense and really close, for sure. It was really intense, really close. But I think everyone's expecting, I would say, Zerg buffs. I think everyone's expecting, like, whether it's a Baneling Baneling buff, or, yeah, I mean, I think everyone's expecting the reversion to, like, the Baneling as well, to help with ZVP. I think, yeah, there's a lot of, like, expected changes coming, and, I mean, that'll be coming up soon, TM, right, in the upcoming matches, or in the upcoming months. We know that the TLMC is around the corner as well. The Team Liquid map contest for the next map pool, you know, that's around the corner for sure. But yeah, it's good. It's solo. I know a lot of people, myself included, were really it was really heartbreaking to see ByuN get taken out. I know that he was also a little bit regretful about his series, referring to ByuN versus Zaun, where ByuN he was playing really well when it came to the mid to late game, and he was looking very in form and looking even like the better player. And then, well, was it the final game on Last Fantasy where he cheesed? And he himself said, like, in the losers interview afterwards, he was like, I don't know why I did that. Like, I just, yeah, it was it's definitely a rough final game there for ByuN. Where it felt like basically he kind of broke mentally a little bit there, where he kind of like broke under the pressure of it being the ace match and of it being kind of match point for sure. Rainer vs herO, best matchup I've watched in a very long time. Yeah, it was really good. It's a really good matchup for sure. Also, sorry, it wasn't ByuN versus Zaun on Last Fantasy. It was ByuN versus Zaun on Pylon. That's it. Yeah. That series stands out in my mind for sure. The one series that we didn't get to cast, which is a little bit regretful for me, is we didn't get to cast Solo versus Shin because I was on the B stream. We didn't get to cast any of the matches on the B stream because we were covering the main stream instead. So that's something that I do want to probably go back to, or fall back on, is to catch up on some of those B stream matches, because I heard good things about Solo versus Shin, which also went to the ace match for sure. For sure. Do you think herO can win next year and be the first back-to-back champion? I don't think anyone can say with any certainty what kind of form players are going to be looking in. Like, for example, if Clem played against herO, I lean towards Clem there. I do favor Clem over... Like, there are certain players that I do think I favor over herO, but they never played, right? If you remember, we were talking about it, but Solar is a good example of that, where I think Solar would have been a good... I think he had the best chance in the top 4 to defeat herO, but we also knew that he wasn't going to play against him because Classic was standing in his way, and Classic has stronger PvZ. Same with, again, if you're watching Rainer versus herO, Rainer, he said it himself, and we also saw it ourselves as well, where he did kind of, he was ahead, he had a lead, and it looked like the excitement got to him, and that's where he fumbled the ball, and that's where herO was able to come out on top, where Raynor, he was making mistakes and he was getting a little bit too excited and getting overly aggressive, and I think many would say that he kind of threw from that lead as well. Again, Clem never played against him, so, and herO never played against him either. Like, there are certain players that I think have a higher chance at beating herO, but they never played. So like, it's one of those things where it's hard to ever say something like especially this early on, whether they would like win a world championship like a year from now, just because you don't know what kind of form players are going to be in and how the meta changes, how the map pool changes things as well. The map pool is another big factor, of course. Big factor. herO didn't even show up for that 10K tournament. herO was not invited to the $10,000 tournaments. Never invited. But yeah, I was going for Stars Agora because didn't Clem, am I crazy? Yeah, Clem beat herO in Stars Agora, yeah. Which was a close series, to be fair, but that's also why I wanted to see them rematch. Wanted to see them smooch. Isn't keeping a level head also part of being a great player? I haven't seen herO ever extend or make that kind of mistake. We have seen herO make those mistakes before. Yeah. I mean, that's why give credit where credit is due. Of course, was herO, like, despite, I think we said that at the time during our cast, where even though he was behind, even though he was in a worse position, like, he had like the tenacity to still like play at his best and still like either force mistakes or wait for mistakes to be made and have that kind of comeback. I think even herO said himself that in that game he thought he was just dead. Like, he thought it was just over. He was getting ready to just pack up and leave. Like, he hung in there. But for now, we're still waiting for our matches. Waiting for some games to open up. So we might just have some downtime. So we're going to be going on a break. Going to be going on a short break here. We're currently waiting for Percival versus Ledlix to open up to be able to jump into that series, or we're going to be waiting for ByuN and GuMiho to finish to jump into herO. One or the other. Otherwise, yeah, we'll see you soon. We'll see you soon after the break. And when we come back, we will have a next series. We'll have a next matchup. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the WardiTV Monday. Welcome back to WardiTV Monday number 45. We're here in the quarterfinals and we have a fresh series. Again, we had a little bit of downtime. We were waiting for Percival versus Lelix to wrap up, and now we are here in the quarterfinals and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Ley Lines. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Little Fairy. It is Percival. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss player himself, representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Hearthstone. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is a Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our TVP. Here we go. Whew. As we are going to be settling in, and again we have our fresh series. The winner of the series will face off against the winner of still the lower portion of the bracket. Like ByuN versus GuMiho is still ongoing. We still have herO and Geralt down in that lower part of the bracket as well. But this is to determine who will make it through into the semifinals. Let's go. Let us go. As we do see Percival here. Percival is also one of these other aggressive Terran players. I mean, in general, a lot of Terran players in South Korea are very aggressive. Not as cheesy as Homeowner, of course. No one is anywhere near as cheesy as Homeowner. But Percival, we expect 2-base all-ins. We expect a lot of 2-base all-ins out of Percival. That is his go-to. That is his style. He has been vocally... he's been very vocal when it comes to his disdain and dislike of the TVP matchup, and he often does pull the boys. So we'll see how Hearthstone going to handle the aggression that is Percival. Already double gas. Double gas opening here out of Percival, going for the faster factory, going into a delayed CC on the low ground. And we can see Hearthstone just scouting for proxies. Does check the triangular third, does check the linear third base as well. Here we go. And again, I do think that Hearthstone versus Homeowner was a really good warm-up for Percival, just because, again, aggressive Korean Terran, putting Hearthstone kind of on the back foot and forcing him to be a little bit more tame, a little bit more defensive. I think it was a good initial series. From here, Percival getting into his own 1-1-1. Going for his own standard follow-up. Is going to be a Twilight Council opener out of Hearthstone, getting into Blink. Percival does poke in. Does poke in. Still has yet to confirm the tech of choice there. There we go. Does scout the Twilight Council. Is aware. Does know. From here, just working towards Blink. We'll see how many gateways. Hearthstone should be getting into at least 3. There we go, 3-gate Blink out of Hearthstone. We could throw down a Robo and be a little bit safer as well. We'll see how safe Hearthstone plans on being as he is walling up. He's walling up here on 2 bases. Oh, and he opens up charge again. Okay, against Homeowner, this made a lot of sense. Against Percival, I like it. Do like it here. We mentioned before, so the purpose of going for a charge-based opener like this is hyper-defensive. I say hyper-defensive in the sense that if Percival turns this into like a 2-base tank-based all-in, then charge would shut this down. This typically goes charge into Storm early on 2 bases. So Hearthstone, he's going to be staying on 2 bases that much longer. He's going to be delaying his 3rd expansion. As the hallucination moves in, Hearthstone does get eyes on the follow-up, sees the extra ranks, does see the add-ons, faster tech lab here on the starport, sees no research at least, so is aware he doesn't need detection, not yet. This person was rotating. Drop into the main. Let's drop into the main base. Might just going up. 3 probe kills in total. Does get 3 workers, not bad. Saves the Widowmines as well. Percival, you can always go back in. And now Hearthstone does expand. Oh, he does take his 3rd. Okay, Percival setting up. He didn't see any additional zealots yet, as we're just now warping them in. Again, if you recall, we did mention how if you open up charge, it should be for Storm. There it is, Temple Archives on the way, rushing into early Storm. So early Storm at a Hearthstone. Zealots are revealed. Percival knows. He knows, he is aware. This may force Percival to expand. It may force him to stay on, or to be more defensive instead. It is going to be difficult to be aggressive here. Especially because by the time Percival moves out with Stim, Storm is going to be done. Storm is on the way, being chronoed as we speak. And we're going to be settling into a bit of a longer TVP. Here we go, here's that gateway explosion. Getting into his mass charge lots. Percival, I was about to say that his third CC is late, third CC now on the way. Again, like this, there's no real way for Percival to be aggressive against this. So he'll have to expand and settle into a longer game. Ideally take into Ghosts, take into those EMPs. The one downside, I should have mentioned this earlier, the downside of opening up charge like this is that herSo can't harass. Like, he can't harass, he can't threaten the bases, he can't deny the drop play. But what he can do is shut down these main pushes, which is why Percival was, for the most part, stuck at home. As we have a double drop into the main. Wes goes to the pylon. Pulls away. Okay, Percival does pull back. Pushing on the right hand side. I appreciate that he's going for drop play here, trying to pull apart herSo. Gets a stalker. Oh, but the dynamics are being cleaned up. Percival does find a free immortal. Okay. Free immortal goes down. Nice catch. But again, I don't see Percival pushing up the ramp and pushing into these bases. Not into all these storms. Ah, he's getting caught out. Yeah, he's getting caught out. Tank is going to go down. Percival has to get the hell out of here. Yeah, it does load up. Might just going off. Nice target firing on the Prism. Percival does pull away. Does pull away. The Prism is very low. Percival getting his third base. And we are lacking Zealots here. We are lacking Chargelots. Storm's Ace turn away. Also taking a decent fight, cleaning up all the mines. He's with the minefield. He wants the tank as well. He will get it. Tank goes down and from here he can back off. Again, he has plenty of storms, so Percival can't chase. He cannot chase. There's 3 High Templar full of energy, and there are still no ghosts. Still no ghosts of the main army. Storm comes in. Jeez. There's still 2 storms left. Same time, auto charge harass. Getting a couple of workers. herSo is not stopping, he's warping in. Can he catch the ghost? Oh, nice EMP. And nice EMP on the Templar. There's 1 storm. 1 storm left. Building up to 2. Okay, does have it. Does have that second storm. He's himself the Winter Mines. More ghosts are popping out. Let's catch on the ghost. Storm does give chase. Doesn't want to waste it. Same time, jump across the map. I don't think herSo has enough here. Yeah, there's a storm. High Templar goes down. With these Zealot reinforcements, herSo, he might barely have enough. Another High Templar comes in. The boys are pulled to surround. As Percival, he's holding. He's holding, getting a 4th CC. Yeah, and he does deflect herSo. Again, if herSo wasn't forced to pay attention back at home to defend against the draw play that maybe he could have broken through potentially. That did disrupt the economy, did disrupt warpins. herSo, now he has an army. It's a creative force. Do get a decent storm. At the same time, Zealots, they peel off into the mineral line. SCVs are going down. Yeah, these handful of Zealots, they get 8 SCV kills. Nice run by. Nice run by, nice counterattack. SCVs are going down. Harsem, thankfully, now is taking. Getting a 5th base, taking up into Colossus. Again, Harsem doesn't have to force the issue, doesn't have to push into this. We can just calm down, calm down, calm down. So Harsem, he backs off, he rotates. CMP. B connects, is still a storm. Still a storm remaining. But Percival does establish a 4th base. Big moment here for Percival. On the one hand, yes, Harsem is maxed. He's maxed out, he has map control, he has mass expansions. But Percival, he has now established a 4th. Which means he himself can also start to max. He has the bases, he has the economy, he has the planetary to fall back to. Percival, he has been stuck at home almost this entire game, but I think that's what this kind of opener does provide you. It does provide you map control, does provide you more defensive prowess. Awesome, leave another way in. As EMP on the Archon. We need to hit those Zealots though. The Zealots once again, they make their way into the bases. Nice storm! And the storms are brutal. Zealots take it into the mineral line. And Harsem, he does find a way in. Oof. As he will defend his mineral line. Takes down the Archon. Percival holds. Percival, he does hold on. I will say that Harsem, he lost a little bit too much there. Losing the Zealots is fine. The Zealots didn't really matter too much, but he lost 5 Stalkers. He lost 2 Archons as well. He got caught out a little bit. Down to 3 High Templar. Harsem is still looking for a way in. Ooh, let's see who loses the Colossus. Yeah, brutal loss there for Harsem. Now, on the one hand, Harsem, he's meant to trade inefficiently, but we can't just be throwing away Colossus. As Harsem, he's double expanding, taking more bases. Again, this is kind of the dynamic that we have here, is that Harsem, he is meant to have full map control, he's meant to have all these bases, he's meant to have the greater economy, and he's meant to be able to trade as a result. And just keep the Terran pinned back. Oh, snipes a couple of Vikings, not bad. Okay, Percival, the planetary's not done. Zealots catching him out. Yeah, Percival, he's falling apart here. Brutal Zealot run by. Catching reinforcements. Colossus, they're building up. He's got a disruptor. Never going up. Ooh, doesn't connect. But with 2 Colossus, this might just be too much. There's only 1 Viking remaining. Just 1 Viking left here for Percival. As he's barely trying to hold on. Earlier, he was about to max out, but now he plummets in supply. And Harsem, he may have just done it. He may have just done it here. Pushing into the planetary, storm goes up in the mineral line. Base goes down. Again, earlier there were like 5 Vikings, now we're down to 2. Viking hand is just not there. Again, it was up until that earlier fight where Percival got split, where he got cut in 2. So everything just went south. And Harsem rotates. The body blocking. Let's go. So here Harsem is moving in. Just turning back the army. Harsem now going for the 4th, going for the planetary. It's almost there. We lose 1 Colossus. Still 3 Vikings remaining. Down to, yeah, still down to 3. Takes out the final Colossus, not bad. But again, Percival is fighting for his 4th when he should be fighting for his 5th. herO is on 101 probes. Has a booming economy. We are lacking Colossus, but with Disruptors, he might still be able to force the issue. Not quite. Yeah, Disruptor's not really built to try to break these siege positions. So yes, wait for his Colossus, wait for Storm. herO rotates. So let's get into the mineral line. Catching out a couple of SCVs. And at this point, herO has done it. Like, we spoke about it earlier, but before the fight, when he broke the 5th base, like that was the moment of this game when herO gained momentum, when he broke Percival, and here he has already been broken in a sense. Now, if he can reestablish his 5th, that will be a huge moment for Percival. If he can reestablish that 5th base. Nova's forcing friendly fire. Oh, herO overextending. herO does overextend. Percival rushing forward. Sorry, as herO has to back off. We need those zealots. Zealots are coming in. And if Percival, if he can establish his 5th base and he can bounce back, he just needs to get this up and running. He's a planetary. Yes, herO has the bank, of course, but if Percival can actually max out, then he can take a fight and then start knocking down bases. But that's his mountain decline. Yeah, herO, he does force his way in. He breaks through, gets us over the base, and this planetary should not get up and running. Oof. Brutal connections. Nova goes off. Percival throwing down turrets, trying to hold on. Oh. Okay, herO going for a split push. I do think that if herO brought everything together, that he could actually break this expansion. But he's not feeling too confident. Pulls away. Rotates over. Takes a Nova, takes down a Ghost. They once again hit the natural. And with that, as we mentioned before, GG gets called. GG gets called. Percival, he was broken a while ago, and herO, he maintains his lead, and he will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. I was impressed by Percival's play when it came to securing his 5th base the first time, and he was fighting really well. He was killing Colossus. He had a decent Viking count, but we spoke about it if we wind it back. Just before he lost his 5th base the first time, we saw that he had his army split and also his Vikings. He lost 5 Vikings. He was also getting overrun by Zealots on the left hand side as well. I would say that he just had a really hard time splitting his attention and splitting up his army, and it was in that fight, in that moment, where he lost his army, he lost the expansion, and then he lost any semblance of control of his own bases. The game still progressed for like another 5 minutes after that, but herO was looking very comfortable. He was just freely rotating back and forth, trading and breaking through the bases. GG. GG, well played. With that, herO does take a lead, and now we're getting into game number 2. Let's go. We're getting into game 2. Game 2 is going to be on Tokamak. Tokamak, one of the larger maps in the map pool, a map where you can be a little bit more defensive on as well, and we'll see how Percival will adjust. A big reason why the game turned out the way that it did, as we were pointing out, is the charge opener of herO. Basically, herO was hyper safe, hyper defensive, and Percival, because of his later third base, was kind of punished for that. The way to respond to that would be to go for drop play, would be to be a little bit greedier and try to expand, and I say greedier, try to be a bit safer, more defensive, but he felt a little bit too dedicated on two bases, and with that, GG. GG well played. Here we go, we're getting into our next game, we're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the top right hand corner of Tokamak, we have the South Korean Terran player, we have the blue Terran representing Little Fairy. It is Percival. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss player himself, representing Shadow Rebellion. It is Harston. Oh, okay, we just sent it. Never mind. As we have one and a second SCV being sent across the map, Percival is going for the proxy 2 racks. Let's go. We have a Gas Geyser back at home. We'll see if we go for proxy Marauder with Tech Labs and head into Marauder production to commit here into the natural. We'll see what Percival does exactly go for. Let's go. But again, the downside of opening up charge the way that herO did last game is just your lack of Blink Stalkers, your lack of map control, your lack of the ability to, or it just becomes harder to do with drop play, for example, and harass. But Percival, he wasn't really invested too heavily into that. So here we go. Yep, here we go, we have the Marauders on the horizon. So proxy 2 racks Marauder here from Percival. Interestingly enough, he doesn't keep the SCVs with the Marauders. Let's go back home. So he's not going to have the workers here to buffer. Does send them back. Marauders are amassing. herO currently didn't go for probe scouts. Ooh, so 0 probe scouts. If he had, he would be aware that something was wrong and something was missing, but herO is playing blind. God. herO is playing blind here, so he has no idea what is going on. He is opening up sentries, so he can send a hallucination across the map. Shield battery is on the way. Immortals are moving in. Yep, there's that hallucination. And here come the Marauders. They're headed for the natural, going for the shield battery itself. Bunker is on the way. Bunker's on the way. Shield battery taking a lot of hits, a lot of damage. And it should go down. Up! Oh, the Marauder does pull away in time. Down goes the shield battery. That's force field, does get one Marauder. One Marauder falls, every Marauder counts. SCV does pull away. Now going for the pylon. Ooh, does Rex now losing a second Marauder. Yeah, a bit of a mistake there from Percival. Does get the Stalker. They do trade. Yeah, they trade back and forth. The boys are being pulled. Shield battery will complete. And again, he needs that bunker. Oh, the SCV! Oh no! Oh, the RNG not working in his favor. The SCV goes down. Bunker will not finish. Yeah, no bunker. There's one Stalker in the main base. Harston! Oh, there we go. Does take over, does control, but the pylon goes down, depowers everything, and looks like Percival, he has done it here. Oh, it does get surrounded. Uh-oh. Yeah, it does get surrounded. But again, he's killing all these probes. He should be able to catch a Stalker. Behind this is no backup Stalker. But the Marauders are falling. They're going down to the boys. The boys are pretty good. Blast still out. We're still just rallying in. GG gets called, and with that, too many losses. herO, he will be overwhelmed, and Percival does tie things up. GG. GG, well played. Again, the greed of herO. No probe scout. He did not probe scout across the map, so he was not aware as to what was going on. As a result, he was caught with his pants down. He was relying on the hallucination. By the time he went for hallucination, he now realized how much danger he was in. So late scout, late reaction, late realization, and Percival ties things up. GG. GG, well played. Let's go. We're getting into the ace match, and we'll see how this story ends. We'll see where our players do take us. Oh boy. Oh my god. What were the vetoes? As game 3 is going to be on Last Fantasy. Okay. Let's go. Let's go. So we are getting into Lost Fantasy here. The most vetoed map in the map pool, but not between these two. Not between these two. Let's go. As spawning in the top side of Lost Fantasy, we have the South Korean Protoss player, Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Little Fairy, tying up the series 1-1. It is Percival. The pants were down. And spawning on the right side, we have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Shopper Rebellion, being forced into the ace match. It is Hearthstone. We go. As we are tied up 1-1, we are going to that ace match. That's behind this. Getting into our standard openers. And welcome to Lost Fantasy, a 3-player spawn map. You can spawn in left side, right side, or top side, so 3 possible spawn locations. Percival does open up double gas opener out of our Korean Terran player. Into a faster factory, into a delayed CC. Meanwhile, Hearthstone, are we going to probe scout? Oh boy. I mean, thankfully, there's not much reason to right now. I mean, technically, this can turn into a 1-base all-in. We could see like a factory into a starport and something crazy on 1 base, but this should just be a more tech-heavy start into something more economic. I will say that it can be difficult to really make use of something like... as we are getting expand to make use of something like Banshee play here. There is less area in between the bases. As you can see, these are air blockers. These are air blockers that do actually cut off the portions of the map. So this map is actually smaller than what it seems. It's a very, very small map. There's very little room between these bases. So trying to harass with Banshees or trying to harass with drop play can be quite difficult here on Lost Fantasy. Very difficult. Likewise, you have all these speed zones in the center of the map. We have some choke points as well. I mean, because of all these choke points, you can actually defend quite nicely on a lot of these ramps, a lot of these areas. Here we go. As Hearthstone is scouting bottom left, so is Percival. They're both checking the same area, the same location, and they will avoid each other as well. As Percival is going to be opening up Reaper Hellion, no tech labs yet. Does go double Reaper, single Hellion. There we go, reactors on the way, starport as well. Hallucination into the main, does get eyes on the 1-1-1. Does confirm, likewise confirms that there is an expansion. Hearthstone just making sure that everything's on the up and up. Hearthstone, just like game 1, once again opening up charge. This might just be his go-to. I mean, for good reason. It's just a really safe way to play. It's just a really safe setup here. Going into charge, into early storm. We have seen Cure respond to this with early Ghost production. What I mean by that is like a Ghost Academy on 2 bases after the 3-1-1 setup. To get into earlier EMPs, into a 3rd base. Otherwise, again, Banshee play can excel here just because there's no Blink Stalkers. And there's no Robo, there's no detection either. Just because this goes Twilight Council into Temple Archives. So there are definitely ways to play against this, but bearing in mind that Percival doesn't really know the opener that he's up against. Hearthstone does expand. Drop into the main. Hearthstone out of position. Base going over. Bird's going to be going down. So far, nice damage here from Percival. 5 shots going off on a single probe. So that's 4 probe kills. Likewise, dragging the army within range. One shot going up. Ooh, does go off. Takes out a stalker. Nice connection. And so far, a successful drop. I mean, again, we spoke about this. Just to reiterate what we spoke about in game 1, Percival, he gets quite a amount of damage, quite a lot of damage here with his first drop. It's more difficult for herO to deal with this. And the stim is on the way. Some likewise confirms the stim is in production. eBay for +1. Liberator is going to be a little bit awkward here. As you can see, there's just no dead space, so the Stalkers can freely move in and focus on the Liberator. 3 probes for a Liberator. It's okay. It's an okay trade. But you can see there's just so much space here. Basically, it means that if anything moves into harass, like, it's more vulnerable, more exposed. On Last Fantasy. Because you have to go so far into the base to harass like that. So here we go, as we just pull the boys. We just send it. This is gonna be a tough one. So personally, he does pull the boys. We're moving out with a 3-1-1 setup. +1 only just began. That's why I'm a little bit thrown off. +1 is not gonna be a part of this all in. Okay, interesting. Won't be a part of this. Meanwhile, Storm is done. Storm is complete. It's a brutal choke point. Storm comes in. Oh god, it connects with everything. Oh god, the Storms. They kill everything. The Marines. So many of them go down. That was how many? That was 11. 11 Marines, 6 SCVs. How many are left? 16. That was half the Marines going down. Again, this choke point is brutal. So that was half the army going down to a couple of Storms. And again, time is of the essence here. The longer this goes on, the better it is for herO. Another Storm does graze the army. Ay, ay, ay. It looks like the base is going to be broken, but herO, he doesn't have to hold on to it. Doesn't have to hold on. Zealots, they do get across the map. herO pulls away. And Percival, are we going back? Let's go. He's going back home. Time to go back to macroing. And Percival, he is behind. At this point, he is behind. His economy is lackluster. It's barely there. herO confirms that the army is coming back home. Does catch reinforcements. herO from here just double expanding. Just double expanding instead. And Percival throws in a 3rd CC. That's a very sad 3rd CC here from Percival. He's got a ways to go, got a ways to catch up. When it came to his push, I mean, now at least he preserved the tanks, right? We have what, 5 tanks? Jesus, it's a lot of tanks. So he can still make use of this army. Ghost Academy is now on the way. But Percival, he is going to be stumbling his way into the mid-game after the failed all-in. herO so far looking good. Oh, these I'll say might be able to get on top of the tanks. No, with the mine shell. Yeah, with the mine shell with the tanks. Does get on top of one of them. One tank goes down. Almost 2. Not bad. Again, first we're getting called out. From here, Harsum, we can start working towards another expansion. He's still on a very low gas count. He has no gases at the 3rd or at the 4th. Okay, there we go. He does. Sorry, he's on what, 4 bases or 4 gases. But without additional gases, he can't quite afford like a Bay, a Robo into Colossus production. So far, still stuck on a more Zealot heavy composition than Storm. Harsum, he's pushing. Now, we spoke earlier about those choke points. It's also applicable here to Percival, where he does have the high ground. He's sieged up over the ramp. It's not going to be easy to push into this. Let's push into the siege line. So we're going to try to distract. Storm to the mineral line. Same time, Prism into the natural. This Prism does go for the Warpin. The Warpin looks like it will finish in time. Oh, it's gonna be close. Oh my god, barely not. Barely doesn't complete. Oh, Brutal Storm here. Oh no, the Brutal Storm on the ByuN. Stands in the storms. That's gonna be 18 SCV kills. And Harsum, he isn't killing Percival, but he is maiming him. He's crippling him. Getting 18 workers. And from here, Harsum just backs off. He just backs off, pulls away, retreats. Now we can see Harsum double expanding, getting 2 more Nexi. Colossus production has begun. At this point, I would want to see extra gases to afford a 2nd Robo. Now just building up all those upgrades. Oh, Harsum does rotate. Likewise, Prism survives, gets into the main. This time the Warpin will finish. This time will complete. And again, you can see the big features here of this map, just how narrow these ramps are. Oh, good. Also got stuck for a moment. There we go, does blink in. GG gets called. He does catch Percival out of position, and with that, he will break through, he will overwhelm, and Harsum will take the series at 2-1. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations, Harsum. He will claim the series. Again, Percival failed 2-base all-in. That's what it came down to. He went for a 2-base all-in, which was crazy, by the way. If you remember, he pulled the boys as he was getting +1. It was a crazy decision there out of Percival to pull the boys when he did. The all-in failed, and from there he was just behind. He had no map control, he had no map presence, he had nothing to threaten his opponent. He was just stuck at home, and Harsum was doing a great job of just containing him, picking away at SCVs, getting into mineral lines, and just mass expanding behind it. I mean, it's called an all-in for a reason. Once it fails, like there's almost no coming back from that. I say almost. There's always like a chance that your opponent makes mistakes, that your opponent slips up, that your opponent does allow you to somehow, some way recover in that game, but it was just a really rough position for Percival, and with that, GG. With that, GG, well played. And Harsum does advance on, does make it through. And with that, now we have some catching up to do. Exclamation mark be in the chat. Have a look at the back yourselves. We do have some updates here. It looks like ByuN did take down GuMiho 2-1. Is now up against herO in the quarterfinals, and then mid-series they're currently in the ace match, so we won't be able to cover any of that, unfortunately. I would have loved to have seen some herO versus ByuN, but herO versus ByuN, they're in game 3, and the winner goes up against herO in the lower semifinals. That's going to be our next series, so we won't be able to catch any herO versus ByuN, but we will be able to follow them into herO in the semis. Meanwhile, we have Lemon takes down Hydra 2-1, Nickrat takes down Rex. We have Lemon versus Nickrat in the quarterfinals. Likewise, we have herO takes down Shameless 2-1, is up against MaxPax in the next round as well. GG, well played. So we have a next series. Again, it is going to be herO versus either herO or ByuN, and then we'll be able to get into the upper semifinals thereafter. That is going to be the plan. It's going to be the plan. So that means more downtime. That means we have some downtime here, unfortunately, but we're nearing the tail end of the broadcast, nearing the tail end of the tournaments. Now we will be casting both semifinals, so we'll be covering the lower semis and the upper semifinals as well. We'll be casting both of them, so we do have those 2 matches soon to be available to us, and then the grand final. So we have 3 series. We have 3 series left in the broadcast. 3 more series to go. Otherwise, we're going to be heading off. Otherwise, we're going to be going on a short break. When we come back, we'll have our next matchup. Again, it's most likely going to be herO's next series. We've been following herO this tournament, so that'll lead us into the semifinals, and then we'll be going into the upper semis thereafter. That's the plan. That is the plan. Otherwise, take this moment to get some snacks, get some food, get some water, drain your disruptors, massage your marines, and hydrate all of your hydras. We'll see you soon in a couple of minutes. See you soon. Bye. See you soon. and welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to the WardiTV Monday number 45. Welcome back to the semi-finales. Hope you enjoyed that lovely brutal OC. As we have an update in the quarterfinals, herO took down ByuN 2-1 to advance on to the semis. Now we have a PvP before us, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Persephone, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss, but Twisted Minds, it is herO. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss from land of the Netherlands, representing Shopify Rebellions. It is herO. Here we go. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open and place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our PvP. And again, herO is doing quite well here tonight. I believe this is the furthest that herO has ever gone in a WardiTV Monday. Of course, the competition is a little bit different this week, just because so many players are traveling and resting, and I mean, post EWC, a lot of players are just calming down and then just going to bed and never getting out there. Not for the near future. After the intensity of the past week that we've had with EWC and with FEL as well. So don't blame them, but amidst all of that, herO does, make a deep run. herO, he does make it to the semis. We'll see how much further he can go, as he has a Titan before him. herO coming in as the number 2 seed of the tournament, top 2 being MaxPax and herO. And can anyone stop the PvP finals? I mean, regardless, we have 2 Protoss here, so we have at least 1 Protoss confirmed for the finals. We'll see if anyone can stop MaxPax from making it there as well, or if it will be that PvP moving forward. Let's go. We're here for it. As for the time being, we do have an economic opener here. We have a Gate, a Cyber Expand, economic opener out of herO. Meanwhile, the herO going for a 1 base all in. So 1 base all in out of herO. Let's go. Good. As the pilot has been thrown out, we're expecting a robo here in the center of the map. Show us what you got. Cybercore is done. And herO, he throws down the robo. So again, 1 base all in out of herO. It's all or nothing from our blue Protoss player, and we'll see if he can break through. We'll see if herO can determine what's going on. herO, he does scout, he does check, he does see both pylons, does see the 2 gates. He does not see the 3rd pylon, though. You can see he does skirt around the edge. He does avoid the stalkers, and he will be coming in for another scout. He will slip in for a follow-up scout. Likewise, the depths barely. Oh, does scout, does confirm. herO knows. herO, he now knows what's going on. Does shade past the initial stalkers. Making his way into the main, herO, herO, he does react, he does pull back. Oh, and we do have the pylon block, which means herO, he gets in. Yeah, herO, he does get into the main base. Probes are going to be going down. It gets 1 probe so far. And he brings back the entire army. He heavily delays herO. Probes are falling left and right, getting 1, 2, 3, 4 probes. Oh my god. herO even shades away, but he gets caught out. herO gets caught despite that 4 probe kills. And herO back at him is getting ready. He's got his own robo, he's got his own normal production, and we have the chrono boost on that robo, on that immortal. And the longer this goes on, the better it is for herO. So we have the proxy gateway across the map. We have that proxy gate. herO is moving in. Does attempt to rake. Nice force fields. Force fields, they do zone herO away. herO making a send, does lose his own sentry. So 1 sentry goes down. Lose stations as well. But again, here he just bought enough time for a 2nd shield battery. Oof. And herO is running out of steam. He needs to break through. Getting forced further back. About to pop out a 2nd immortal. herO, he doesn't get baited, he backs off. Ideally, herO wants to try to bait him in to fight against an additional immortal. As the prisoners, they pass by each other. herO going for the pylon. Oh no, he will take it down, he will depower everything. herO out of position. And here he backs off. Here he pulls away. Does spot that prism. Does move his way in. Ooh, trying to go for the warp in. Bold move. Immortal barely does survive. Nice force field. Prism is here. Nice counter force fields as well, locking down Hearthstone. The Immortal's getting low. One Immortal goes down. He gets one. There's one Immortal left. And Hearthstone is running a steam. He's running a steam. He's running out of army. GG gets called. And herO, he will defend. And herO will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG will play solid control there from herO, solid scouting as well, able to delay the push, able to buy time, able to get some damage done across the map as well, and it was an uphill battle there for Hearthstone. In the end, he did run out of steam. And with that, we're getting into game number 2. Again, we'll see if Hearthstone attempts another one-base all-in. We'll see if herO likewise is greedy as well. As up next, we're going to be loading into Maganatha, the largest map in the map pool. Massive map, long rushes and by ground. We do expect longer games and other matchups, but here in PvP, we could be seeing another short game. Let's go. Let us go. Meanwhile, we just got another update, and we have confirmation. We have pure Protoss. We have pure Protoss players. We have Lemon taking down Nickrak 2-1, and we have MaxPax taking down ByuN. So we have MaxPax versus Lemon in the upper portion of the bracket. We have pure Protoss here in the top 4. Not the first time that's happened, of course. Let's go. I'm ready for the non-stop PvPs. Gibbs, baby, Gibbs. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner here of Maganatha, we have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss player himself. We have the South Korean Protoss representing Twisted Minds, leading series 1-0. It is herO. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss player himself from the land of the Netherlands, representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Hearthstone. We go. To open up. Hearthstone does move out. And herO is setting up on the low ground. Once again, we have a greedy economic opener out of herO. And once again, Hearthstone may be forced to react with a one base all in. As Hearthstone, he does actually pull back his probe. He was going for a probe scout, but he does think better. Oh, where are we going? That might have been a hockey issue where he accidentally hockeyed the probe, so he did rally. Maybe he rallied his Nexus back, and the probe turned back around. As Hearthstone does move back over. With this, he will scout, he will confirm. Does get eyes on the gate expand. Sorry, Nexus first? Jesus. Nexus first out of herO. And Hearthstone, I mean, he's being chased down. The reason why this probe has to chase Hearthstone, because Hearthstone, he does plan on going for the all-in. There we go. There's Broxy in the face of herO. In the face. Does right on the pylon. herO is now aware of its location. Behind this, herO throwing down the second gateway. And he may just go for a 3-gate response. So 2 gateways into Cybercore. herO still in the chase. We're expecting a Robo. And there it is, Robo out of Hearthstone. So once again, one base all in from Hearthstone. Again, he has to try to punish herO. Can he is the better question. He has to try. Protoss Mondays doesn't quite sound as good as Sparkling Protoss Cup. It doesn't. They gotta work on their branding for the name of the tournaments. It does work for, I think it does work for the EU one, like Monday Night Protoss. I like it. The Monday Night Protoss. Let's go. Or Monday Night PvP. That works. So far, here he does dive on the Robo itself taking a lot of hits, taking a lot of damage. Adept does go down. Ooh, does take down the Adept, and the Zealot is not going to be able to escape. Does fall. Oh, baiting herO in. Nice catch. Yeah, nice catch on the Stalker. Here he will lose the Stalker. Stalker does go down. Here we're gonna be forced back. It's forced back, taking some extra hits. Behind this, we have 2 shield batteries, but we have some messy SimCity here. So he has to pull back. Trying to go for the Immortal, but I believe Hearthstone should break through. I say that another Stalker has arrived. Ooh, takes out a Stalker. Takes out a Stalker. There's the energy overcharge, taking a little hold damage here on that Immortal. Stalker goes down. Hearthstone barely does get away. The shields are almost ready. Second Immortal has arrived. I think Hearthstone should be able to overwhelm. Yeah, he should overwhelm. Behind this, there's no Stargate, there's no Robo. It's only Stalkers to defend. Like this Stalker defensive from herO, I don't see this working, I'll be honest. The Immortals, they just add so much DPS to this. Hearthstone moves in. The Immortals, I don't care about your shield batteries. Nice bait on the trigger though. Okay, nice movement, nice control from herO. Baits out the shields. But again, he just cannot fight this head on, not against 2 Immortals. Stalker goes down. You can see 2 Stalkers. They're stuck here behind. We spoke about it. This is just, I mean, how do we move out? With these Stalkers, they do nothing. The SimCity here is awful. Yeah, herO, he heard about people making fun of his walls, and he's like, I'll show you a wall. I mean, true. It is a full wall. And it's hurting, it's killing herO. He just cannot engage. Both gateways go down. With that, he has 0 production except for his own Robo. He's like, people, they wanted me to wall. It's like, true. Yeah, nice force field. And with that, Hearthstone should break through. He should break through. He should overwhelm. Hearthstone has got 3 Immortals who will soon have a 4th Immortal as well. Nice control. Again, as long as Hearthstone doesn't lose control, as long as he doesn't lose his Immortals, he should be fine. He's going for the Cybercore. We have a second Robo. herO's freestyling. Okay. Like, unironically. herO, he's having fun. He's having fun. Oh, meanwhile, there's a pilot in the main. Probes. The boys are being pulled still because they warp. Sorry, Adepts warp in. Pilot in the main base. Aye. GG gets called. GG gets called. Again, there's no way for herO to defend to survive against that. And Hearthstone ties up the series 1-1. GG. Get a messy defense there out of herO. His production was exposed. He went for a 2-gate follow-up into a delayed Robo. Likewise, it was just a really messy setup there at the natural, and with that, he was overwhelmed. GG, well played. With that, we're now getting into the ace match, and we'll see how the story ends. We'll see if this goes the way of Hearthstone or herO. Now, herO, he has been going for greedy openers, but he straight up went Nexus first. That was Nexus first on Maganatha, so that's also why it was an even more difficult defense out of herO, because that was the you do not get greedier than straight up Nexus first. Not even gate expand, but Nexus first out of herO, which was crazy. So hopefully herO, he calms down. Hopefully, you know, hopefully he's had enough fun. We can settle into a much more standard opener instead. Still greedy, but standard. You're located in Australia, I think. I've always wondered because you're on all the time and I'm in Europe. At least that's what I think it says Australia. Yes. We're in Australia. We are typically live twice a day. Once in the evening, once in the morning. One is more prime time for Europe. The other is more prime time for the Americas. So we're typically live twice. One for each kind of time zone. One for each kind of region. So yeah. Typically how we do. Typically. As we're now getting to our next game and spawning in the bottom head corner of Ley Lines, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Twisted Minds. It is herO. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss himself from the land of the Netherlands representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Hearthstone. Let's go. But yes, mostly the broadcasts are catered towards like I guess primetime NA and primetime, or I guess primetime NA and like morning EU. Those are the 2 time slots that we do cover here on the channel. Yeah, that's typically how we approach things. Does mean that if I want to sleep, like usually it's middle of the day and deep in the evening as well, when it comes to how we get to sleep here in Australia. It's all good. It's all good. Like for the week of EWC, I was going to bed at like 10 a.m. ish, like 10 a.m. to midday, and then waking up at around like 7 p.m. or 6 p.m. to be able to cast EWC. Typically how we do. Meanwhile, we do have a, this time, 2-gate opener. Okay, so this time we have a standard opener out of herO. Meanwhile, herStum opening up with the proxy. This is an interesting location, though. herStum, what did he see? He saw the 2-gate. No shot, we're going proxy robo. Oh. Okay. Huh, so once again, a 1-base all-in. I'm not too fond of this. If you were here for game 1 and game 2, basically, in both game 1 and game 2, herO went for greedy builds. Game 2, he went Nexus first. In game 1, he went Gate, Cyber, Expand. But here in game 3, we have herO going for a standard safe opener. He opens up 2-gate. So going for a proxy robot like this is weaker, I would say, for herStum. Out of all three games, this is going to be the weakest start that herStum is having here. So I'm not too convinced. As herO scouting, and yep, herO, he will scout, he will find it, he will confirm. And he will have 2 stalkers early on, which means he can try to even depower this. So he does scout, does confirm. Adepts are making their way into the bases. Stalkers are amassing. Steps are deflected. They don't quite get in. Not quite. Meanwhile, herO going for a Stargate opener. With this, he can get across the map. Safety shield batteries on the way. Did herStum see? He did not. Yeah, herStum didn't quite confirm the Stargate, but he's getting ready nonetheless. Adepts, they do bust in. And they bust into the middle line. Probe's going to be going down, getting 1, 2, 3, 4 probe kills. 4, 5 workers falling. 6 probes even. Can we get 7? Can we get 8? No, we can, not quite. Shield battery is now done. So shouldn't get any more workers. Could have maybe have gone an 8th probe. But here he's not done. Behind this, making void rays. He's got his own robo on the way on 1 base as well. And herO takes a lead. herO takes a massive lead here. And things are looking dire for herStum. He's still committing here to the all-in. I mean, he has to. herO gets into the main base mineral line, going for the stasis. There we go. Going for the stasis trap. herStum does pull away, only getting caught with 1, and here comes the all-in. Here comes herStum, pushing up the ramp. Here he's got a shield battery, he has a void ray, he has a prism as well. Immortal production has begun. And this is going to be difficult here for herStum. Oh, nice force shield, does not get the Stalker. Stalker does survive the power of the War Prism. You see herStum being forced to warp in, 2 Stalkers back at home. Oh, does get a pylon, not bad. Pylon goes down. Ooh, the Void Ray does overextend, Void Ray does fall. Nice pickup. But now here he has his own Immortal, does move down to low ground. Picks off a Stalker, gets 1, gets 2, gets all 3, he's gonna get everything. He will get everything as there's only 1 Stalker left. 1 Stalker for herStum, he has to back up, he has to retreat. Here he holds. And from here, he going to Phoenixes. Yeah, there we go. Phoenix production has begun. Now here it can look to expand. Phoenixes are just so brutal in this position because they can be anti-air for the Prism, of course, but they can also lift. They can lift the Stalkers, they can lift the Immortals. More importantly, Stasis goes off, does catch the gas mining workers. Ay, ay, ay. And speaking of, yep, the Prism may have to recall to get out, otherwise, yep, there it is, there's a recall. He moves it here out of herO. Again, this series, it does feel like hero's just been enjoying himself. He's been enjoying himself. From here, it does expand. Now getting on top of the robo. And Hearthstone is in a brutal position. So the worst thing about what's happening here, yes, Hearthstone is expanding. True, both players are expanding. But herO has been mining more for longer. herO, he's had a greater economy for longer as well. herO supply versus Hearthstone. Takes down the robo. From here, moves out, moves in. Hearthstone. Is trying to build up on 2 bases. Dropping into the main. Going for the pylon. We'll get it. Gets a pylon, gets a couple of workers. Can pick up a stalker as well. Nice Oracle into the natural. And the game will progress into the mid-game. Both players, they have to catch up when it comes to upgrades. Twilight Council into Blink, into a robust 2-base economy. Even though herO does have a lead, even though herO is ahead, ending the game at this point is not really too possible. Outside of breaking the spirit of Hearthstone. As herO gets 6 more probes. Just maintaining his lead. Here it does maintain. Got the Forge on the way for +1, so here he will get ahead when it comes to the upgrades. He'll have the greater army. The best that Hearthstone can go for here is to try to commit to a 2-base all-in and hope that herO expands. herO is taking a 3rd, okay, and hope that herO is too greedy. That's probably the best option here for Hearthstone. As he's getting up to 4 gates. We might try to go up to like 6 gateways. Yeah, there it is, 6 gates. So 6 gates on 2 bases, and then just double down. Go for a robo, go for a warp. I mean, he has his warp prism alive, and just send everything across the map. So again, this is the best chance that Hearthstone has, and it can still work. It could still work. Goes down. Hearthstone, he commits. He gets spotted by the observer, so here he's aware of the all-in. Hearthstone set up for the expansion, but for the most part, Hearthstone he has to try to end the game with this move out. And he's pushing into 5 immortals. Oh god. It's not gonna be pretty here. There's potential with the force fields, but of course herO has his own warp prism to juggle back. Go warping in at 6 units at a time. It's all or nothing for Hearthstone. He does not expand. This is it. This is his moment. Nice force fields locks down 3 immortals. Nice juggling here out of herO. Does juggle back. Does save the immortals. Oh, the prism almost goes down. But he does save everything. Yeah, saves all the immortals. The force fields are running out. And herO, he will dominate. He will dominate this fight. GG gets called, and herO, he will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. A very intense series here, and a shout out to Hearthstone for forcing the ace match, for taking game 2. I mean, again, it was herO being cheeky and herO just being hyper greedy and just having a crazy setup here in game number 2 on Maganatha. But regardless, GG well played. What did make a series out of it nonetheless, and with that, herO does advance on to the grand finals and is now going to be waiting for the winner of our next semis. Let's go. let us go. We have our next semifinals getting ready. Is going to be best of 3. It's going to be best of 3 between Lemon and MaxPax. Oh boy. As we can switch our scenes over and catch up on the brackets. Here we go. So again, Lemon versus MaxPax. They are facing off in the upper semifinals. MaxPax took down ryung 2-1. Lemon took down Nickrak 2-1, and we have the upper PvP currently ongoing, I believe. I say that because Lemon is in game. Lemon is in game, and I believe so is MaxPax. So it looks like they are mid-series currently, and again, the winner will face off against herO in the grand finals. Hold on, I can make this a little bit nicer. There we go. Beautiful. So there we go. So MaxPax is up against Lemon. Now, I don't know if they're in game 1, game 2, or game 3. So I don't know where they are in their series exactly. It is hard to say, but regardless, they are mid-series. They're facing off. And again, we're going to be jumping into the winner of that up against herO. Lemon, yes, yes. Yeah, Lemon did well for himself. Lemon, he did well for himself. Taking down Hydra, taking down Nickrak. Big wins there for Lemon. Este Lemon. But otherwise, we will have some downtime. Just catching up. But yes, we're going to be going on a short break. So take this time to get some snacks, get some food, get some water, drain your disruptors, massage your marines. When we come back, we have the update. There it is. I was curious whether or not we would wait too much longer, but it's going to be a shorter break because MaxPax takes down Lemon 2-1, went all the way to the ace match as well. Shout out to Lemon for making MaxPax bleed, and now we have that grand finals here. MaxPax versus herO will be coming up next after the break. See you soon. See you soon after the break. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the grand finals of this week's WardiTV Monday number 45. Again, we have the beginning, marking the beginning of the off-season. Marking the beginning here of the off-season of StarCraft 2, and we have our two finalists here. We have our PvP finals and spawning in the top bottom left-hand corner of ley lines. We have our Danish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player. The Protoss player himself from South Korea, representing Twisted Minds. It is herO. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our PvP. And already we saw some quirky builds out of herO, but I mean that's what we expect here when these two face off. Is either greed or aggression. Here he's very fond of cutting corners and out-greeding MaxPax when it comes to PvP. Likewise, we have seen herO, of course, attempt to punish the greed of MaxPax. So far, MaxPax standing up on the high ground. We have the second pylon further back in the main base, and we do often see MaxPax going for the same tried and true, just gate, cyber, into Stargate, into expansion. Both gases were taken, so again, we do expect to see just the MaxPax opener from our blue Protoss player. From the side of herO, this is where things get more interesting. There it is. We have Gate, Cybercore into Nexus. herO is also cutting corners. herO is also being greedy. This also means that this could be the beginning of Phoenix Wars. Oh boy. Now what does that mean? Basically, if both players go gateway into Cybercore, if both players pylon block each other, and if both players cannot expand, then we should be seeing Stargates. Stargate from MaxPax and Stargate from herO. If both players throw down Stargates, then Phoenixes. You have to make Phoenixes. If you don't make Phoenixes, you will just die. Will just die if we both open Stargate. Meanwhile, no pylon block. Ooh, does miss the pylon block. So herO, he does get the Nexus. MaxPax Stargate, as we expected. Stargate out of MaxPax before his expansion. Meanwhile, again, MaxPax, he failed to pylon block. So herO, he may, I mean, this can still lead into Stargate, but herO will have the economic lead. True. He will have the economic edge over his opponents. The question becomes, herO, what gate or what are we going to be spending our gas on? What do we take it to? So yeah, the Stargate is on the way. MaxPax, because there's no Stargate from his opponent, he should be going for the Oracle instead. Should open Oracle, and herO can try to go into a ground-based composition instead. Show us that Twilight Council. Oh, show us the gateways. With the proxy pylon, we can go for a gateway across the map. We can go for a gateway back at home, or even proxy 2 gate just to hide it. Yeah, true. Gate. One gate back at home, so sorry, one extra gate back at home, so it's going to be 2 gates at home, 1 across the map. It's going to be 3 gates here out of herO, and herO, he can throw this into an all-in. Even though herO did open up in quite a greedy fashion, it is looking like more of a fake out. So there it is, the gateway has been thrown down, and herO, he's not making probes. Oh, there we go. Probe production has begun, somewhat. He's massing up his army. Does take down the Zealot. And can herO intercept? Does for the Oracle. The Oracle's moving out. Shield battery is done. herO, he commits, and he can soon warp in. Yeah, 1 base all in. herO, he's going for it. Again, there's no saturation at the natural base. Probes are going down. And it's all or nothing for herO. That's a lot of losses, though. That's going to be, what, 5, 6 probe kills. Oh my god, that 1 adept adding so much extra DPS, allowing for the one-shots. Yeah, it does allow for it. 9 probe kills. At the same time, herO, he breaks the shield battery, but I don't think herO has enough. Yeah, he does not have enough. He needs those reinforcements. There is that stasis on top of the ramp. Oh, the phase check! Oh, does phase check off the ramp. Massive stasis goes off. And herO, he needs more warpins, needs more reinforcements. Behind this, we have 2 gateways here for MaxPax. Void Rays on the way, but no shield battery. But again, that wall is brutal. That wall is buying so much time. Takes out one of the pylons, now going for the other. Now there's only 1 gateway powered. The Void Ray will pop out. But is the Void Ray going to be enough? The boys are being pulled. Does pull the boys. Nice force field. Starting back the army. There's 1 shield battery here behind this. And it will finish. True. Does finish up in time. Meanwhile, 14, 15 probe kills. Every worker goes down. herO completely all in. He has no reinforcements. He has no warp-ins. The longer this goes on, the worse it is for herO, and MaxPax, he holds. Yeah, he is holding. Well, I say that does lose a Void Ray. 2 more Stalkers arrive. With 2 extra Stalkers, herO, he can start to kill these Stalkers. Yeah, he's breaking through. He's trying to, but another 2 Stalkers go down. They trade 2 and 2. There's 5 Stalkers left. Down to 4. Down to 4 Stalkers. Another Void Race on the way. Likewise, there's the NG overcharge. Void Ray has arrived. And with the help of that Void Ray, GG gets called. MaxPax, he will hold, he will defend. And MaxPax takes game number 1. Whew, GG, well played. And honestly, the MVP of that game was the Adept. The one adept got into the main base, and because of that one adept, the Oracle alongside the Adept could one-shot workers, and that was 9 probes. That was 9 probe kills at the start of the game. That should not have happened. That should not have happened. Those workers should not have gone down. That's the purpose of the shield battery that was in the main base as well. Here he slipped up, he messed up, he did not wall off, he did not deal with that first adept, and that was game. That was game then and there. Again, he was so stifled when it came to his income, when it came to his economy, when it came to his warpins and reinforcements. And with that, MaxPax takes the first game. GG, well played. I did enjoy the overall build of herO, to go for a greedy build and follow it up with an all-in to just catch his opponent off guard. And we've seen that work before. We have seen MaxPax die to that in the past, but not this time. Not this time. As we are getting into game number 2. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Pylon, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Sidestone Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Twisted Minds. It is herO. We go. Players are going to be opening up. Whew. And welcome on to Pylon. Pylon is one of the smaller maps in the map pool. Shorter rushes by ground. Aggression here can be favored. We'll see how our players do open up. As again, we're expecting more of the same out of MaxPax. Our eyes are typically on herO when it comes to these initial openers. When it comes to PvP between herO and MaxPax. Now we have the gateway in the main. Okay, 2 gate opener. MaxPax does scout, does confirm. So 2 gate opener out of herO. Interesting setup as well. He does decide not to throw down the gateways as a part of the wall. This means that he is going to be vulnerable to Adepts. Adepts are going to be even more devastating here, as there is no Sim City here to deal with that. Not initially, as he can pylon wall, true. But this means that, I mean, MaxPax can just comfortably get into his own build. Comfortably go gate into Cybercore, into Stargate, into expansion. Oh, actually, MaxPax is building up, going for the Nexus first. Nexus before Stargate. Okay, so MaxPax is going to be cutting some corners. He's going to be slightly greedier than normal. Slightly more greedier. Meanwhile, double Adept out of herO. And we'll see what he can get done. As here he is opening up double Adept. He's going to be hyper aggressive across the map. He will move out. Here is setting up that wall. Eventually. And this herO expanding. He's going to have a later and a delayed expansion. It's on herO to make up for that. Go into Shade. Now, very nice force fields. Locking herO down. Have to survive. And this Robo opener out of MaxPax, not going into his own. Wait, am I crazy? Did I see the Robo? I thought I saw a Robo on the way. herO setting up his own proxy pylon. I swear I saw a Robo in production, on the production tab. But MaxPax, he does avoid it. There we go, going for a Twilight Council instead. Meanwhile, herO opening up Stargate. As we have more Adept shading, does commit. Yeah, does commit to the Shade. Does focus on the probes. 1, 2, 3 probe kills. Getting up to 4. MaxPax trying to chase down those final workers. We have more deaths working in. Going for the shade. It does get into the mineral line, gets more damage. And MaxPax getting pulled apart. Oh, losing even more workers. How many in total? 7! 7 probes going down. Does not quite shade into the mineral line or into the base, into the main. But this is brutal damage, and MaxPax has no way to recover, no way to harass, I should say. MaxPax, he chose not to open Stargate, which was, in my mind, a little bit out of character. Which means he has no Oracle harass across the map. He's just stuck at home, just stuck taking all this aggression. Does wall off in time. Kiri finds even more damage. Gets more probes. Adepse keeps shading in. And MaxPax, he just cannot keep up. Oracles are on the way. Again, we're just doubling down on the mass aggression. Now, the one thing that MaxPax does have is, if you can notice here, because here he's investing everything into harass, into adept harass and oracle harass. Meanwhile, MaxPax is building up an army. He's building up more and more stalkers. Blink is halfway done, and in a head-on fight, MaxPax will win. And here he comes. He does move out across the map, and he has a robust army. He has stalkers. Station trap into the main base, back at home, but we have to defend. Boys are being pulled, and again, herO, he just doesn't really have much at home. Again, he's been focusing and fixating purely on harass, so he has no army. Warps in a couple of stalkers. Shield battery's almost out of NG. Yeah, boys are being pulled. herO doesn't get damage done across the map. But back at home, there is no defense. We need those adepts, and even then, they're not built to fight head-on. Yeah, Blink is almost done, and MaxPax, he may be able to end the game with this push. Does reinforce. The Immortal has arrived. Oh, that was okay. Does Blink forward. Does Blink into the mineral line. Yeah, here he cannot move in. Brutal force field. Yes, here, nice control. He does kite back. And this one Immortal may just clean everything up. He can soon just one-shot these stalkers. Yep, boys are pulled. There's the NG overcharge. And GG. GG gets called. MaxPax overextends. MaxPax, he will lose everything. And herO ties up the series 1-1. Whew, GG. That was a dicey setup there for herO. But again, herO, he bought enough time for the Immortal. He preserved his probes so he can use them to surround. And MaxPax overextended. He had a crazy blink to the mineral line. I was like, oh my god, he's insane. He blinked in, he got surrounded, he got shut down, a clutch NG overcharge, and herO ties things up. herO does tie things up, and now we're going all the way to game number 3. And again, that was a really odd build out of MaxPax. I'm not used to seeing MaxPax open up greedy and not go either Robo or Stargate. Remember, I'm pretty sure he did have a Robo on the way, then he cancelled, then went for the Twilight Council into Blink, which was really peculiar. It's a bit of a peculiar setup there for MaxPax, as opposed to his typical Stargate that allows him to harass. So he had no way to really cripple herO. He was just basically all in. Like MaxPax, he was all in, was focusing and fixating on that one Stalker breakouts, and it was not enough. So not enough in the end. And with that, GG will play. With that, we're getting into game number 3. And we'll see who takes the lead. Who takes the lead in the series? Who will gain that momentum? Let's go. Let us go. So we're getting into game number 3, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Incorporeal, we have the blue Protoss player. The blue Protoss, the Danish Protoss representing Samsung Gaming. It is MaxPax. Forced into the ace match, and spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player. We have the South Green Protoss representing Twisted Minds. It is herO. Again, we were getting rowdy in that last game, with MaxPax rushing to, or being forced into a blink all in. herO mass harassing, mass aggression, did cripple MaxPax's economy. And hello, as herO, he moves out with 2 probes. So 2 workers, they fan out. herO, he does plan on going for a proxy. So a cheeky opener out of herO. Based on his trajectory here. Looks like a proxy Stargate if we throw one down here on the right hand side. No, going further in. Oh, going right outside of the main. This is a really obvious location. I mean, the probe scout will deter. We'll make it look like a standard opener. Oh, he throws down the... Okay, going for an inefficient build here. herO, he goes for the second pylon back at home. He's going to be proxying the third pylon instead. There's going to be a delayed proxy out of herO designed to... I mean, the reason why it's going to be delayed, though, is to make it... to keep it hidden. To keep it that much more hidden. To make it more difficult to recognize what's going on. So far mirrored builds. Gate into Cybercore from both players, and herO, he's going to fake out an expansion when really he's going for a proxy Stargate. So very cheeky build here out of herO. MaxPax, he gets the expand. Does get it down in location. herO, he does fail to pylon block. And again, MaxPax convinced that he was pylon blocking his opponent, to herO even making the Zealot. So again, a very quirky build out of herO. It is going to be a later proxy Stargate and a later proxy. Probe does go back in. Now, MaxPax is searching for the pylon. Yeah, straight up. He's searching for the third pylon. He's trying to get a read on what's going on. There's a Nexus. And here comes the proxy. Oh boy. Now, MaxPax is going for his own Stargate, of course. But herO, he'll hit first with the oracles, and probes aren't going to be going down. The question is, how many? Now remember, this is not all in out of herO. This is a way to get ahead. This is a way to cripple MaxPax. Here comes the oracle, and MaxPax has nothing that shoots up. He has warp gate on the way, so he cannot reactively warp in anything to defend. He has one oracle, he has adepts. That's it. No stalkers, no shield battery, no nothing. Again, just a really quirky build here from herO. Does get into the main. Probe's going to be going down, and this is just free damage. This is just free damage here. Oracle's on the way. So far, getting 5, 6, 7, 8. It's going to get up to 9. Can we get up to 10 probes? Can we get 10? He does. There we go. 10 workers. The Oracle runs out of energy. 10 probes do go down. Nice damage. At the same time, MaxPax is going for his own counterattack back at home. We have a shield battery and a stalker. herO's ready. herO is ready. Second Oracle goes in. More economic damage. MaxPax already behind, already taking a lot of damage, and now he's even more crippled. Ay. Losing 30, 16, 17, 18. Oh god, this is game-ending damage. MaxPax caught with his pants down completely across the map. The Oracle does no damage. Adepts, they're going to be threatening here the natural. The pylon does complete. That is 21 probes. Oh god. 21 workers go down, and with that is crippling damage. Oh my god, Jesus, that should not have happened. Stay strapped did pop off. That will slow down herO at least. Would MaxPax recognize a missing probe at this part of the opening? No shot. You're typically not counting probes when you go into the mineral line like that. Oh. So again, just very cheeky out of herO, even catching out the adept. And herO has a massive lead. herO's got 30 workers to the 18 of MaxPax. The station trap in the main base did help, but it should not be enough. But goes down. MaxPax has nothing. Yep, GG. there's just nothing to work with. GG gets called, and herO, he takes a 2-1 lead. GG, well played. Again, a very cheeky build out of herO to move out with 2 probes instead of 1, and to go for not a proxy with the second pylon, but to go for a delayed proxy with the third pylon instead. So again, this is technically like an inefficient proxy or an inefficient build, in a sense, just because it hits later than usual, but that's why it's harder to scout, because it is hitting later than your typical proxy Stargate. Because he proxied with the third pylon, so with the second pylon. So GG, well played. With that, he did catch MaxPax completely with his pants down, and with that, we're getting into game number 4. Let's go. Let us go. Getting into game 4, and herO, he is 1 game away from claiming the series. Meanwhile, MaxPax, he has to fight back herO now to force the ace match. Oh boy. Here we go. As we are loading into tokamak. And we'll see what kind of build herO has this time, because we've seen some hyper greedy builds out of herO. We've seen some very cheesy builds, of course, as well. What are we going for as we load into tokamak? As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of tokamak, we have the Danish Protoss play. We have the blue Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. Down in the series, we'll see bounce back and force that game 5. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss player, the Protoss himself, representing Twisted Minds. Leading the series 2-1, one game away from claiming the series and becoming this week's champion. It is herO. We go. As this time only moves out with one. This time only one probe moves out across the map. Just the one. Let's move out. Likewise, so does MaxPax. They will pass by each other. I'm sure MaxPax is going to be second guessing himself now at this point. Like, hold up. The mind games. So do move in. MaxPax taking both gases, as he does. He's in position on low ground to block the expansion. Looks like we're both going for a gate into Cybercore into expand, so mirrored builds. Again, it is a lot more common nowadays for a lot of the Korean Protosses to also go for the same MaxPax opener. So mirrored build so far. Oh, but he does get the expand. It does get the Nexus. Again, the tell here was one gas. Because there was only one gas geyser, herO, he was hoping to get the Nexus, and he does get it up and running. MaxPax went double gas. What does that mean? That means Stargate before Nexus. So MaxPax is going to be slightly more tech heavy. herO is greedier. So herO, he will have the greater economy. MaxPax responds with a one base all in. Okay, so I said a double gas into a Stargate opener, but he can turn this into a proxy robo into a one base all in. And herO, again, I'm sure in his mind is not thinking about the potential of one base all in. He's going to be scouting, does poke in, does see both gases. He should know something's wrong. Yeah, he knows. He checks here for the Stargate. He sees no Stargate. Something is wrong. He's going to double check for the expand. He will see no expansion, so he must know there's a proxy. He's checking. So good deduction here from herO. He's checking the third base location. We can see it's at the forward base location, though. It's out here in the center. Here he's looking for the proxy. He knows that something is wrong. Does scout the gold. I mean, the gold is a more common location. He rotates, and now he will confirm. Yeah, he does find the proxy, sees the gateway and the river. And he's aware of what's coming his way, but this is a late robo out of herO. Late reaction, late scouts. Things are looking up for MaxPax. So MaxPax, he should be able to pull this off, unless herO can somehow slow this down. herO, he's moving in, he can pick away at the pylon, but he should not be able to get the kill. That's pointing up. Gets 2 probes. He might kill the first pylon, but the second pylon should survive. Yeah, it doesn't get it. Yeah, it does not get it. Stalker has to get the hell out of there. And again, it's just the problem here is how late the robo is for herO. Gonna have to try to hold on with pure Stalker. Shield battery is not done either. Prism is on the way. That allows MaxPax, of course, to bypass the ramp and to go straight to the main. Shield battery's now done. Immortal's on the way. herO needs a little bit more time. But there's that force field. It looks down the army. Shield battery is targeted. And MaxPax should overwhelm. Here he pulls up with the Immortal. Doing what he can. But again, he's just going to be locked down. He will lose the Immortal. And MaxPax will overwhelm. Takes down the Shield battery, the Immortal, the Sentry as well. And here he has nothing to defend, nothing to hold on with. He's down to 4 vanilla Stalkers. Down to 3. Down to 3 Stalkers, going for the Artosis Pylon, depowers everything on top of the ramp. And we're going to the ace match. We're going to the ace match. We're going to game 5. Again, it was a cheeky, oh, sorry, I say cheeky build. herO went for a greedy opener, but he did have just a really late scatter, so what was happening. A late scout of the all-in, a late scout of the proxy, a late reaction as a result. It was all too little too late. The Immortal does pop. True. Jesus, it just gets around it. It does not matter. GG gets called, and MaxPax, he does take the game, and we are going to game 5. Whew. GG. We are going to the ace match. And again, herO caught with his pants down here. Again, he was holding on to gas and holding on to minerals, waiting for him to scout before he reacted. Because of that, it was a later robo, it was a later reaction, later realization as to what was happening. And now we're going to game 5. And what map are we loading into? That's my big question here. Depending on the map, we could see something more intense. Ooh, loading into Persephone. Okay. All-ins are quite common here. All-ins can be really powerful, especially because of the healing pad as well. Like, you can always fall back to it and heal up, and that can be a factor when it comes to certain all-ins. But we'll see. We'll see how our players do open up, as we at least get a full series here, get a full game 5. Let's go. Let us go. Petition for EWC to get horns for the intro. True. Where are the horns? Where's the fanfare? As spawning in the bottom hand corner of Persephone, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. Tying up the series and forcing the ace match. Momentum is on his side, and spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Twisted Minds, being forced into the ace match. Can he bring it back? It is herO. We go. As again, if you're too greedy against MaxPax, he's willing to one-base all in you as well. He's willing to proxy. It's always something to bear in mind, as we are going to be opening up. Again, we do expect to see an earlier second gas geyser out of MaxPax, but there are times where he does delay it. There we go. Okay, he's taking it. So double gas opener with that faster tech. herO throwing down the second gas geyser as well. Okay. And here he actually sneaks out with the probe, and it is very common to go for a proxy Stargate. Like these are like the most common proxy Stargate locations on Persephone. Here he will hide his pylon, and the question becomes: is this real or is this fake? Is he actually going to proxy the Stargate, or is it just a pylon just to be there? Now again, a proxy Stargate is not a one-base all-in, it is just a way to get economic damage. And things can get a little bit intense here. As of course, MaxPax, he knows that the pylon is missing, he knows that something is wrong. As he is counting pylons, there we go, Stargate for MaxPax, as he did open up double gas, and Stargate for herO. Now, there's a difference as to what's happening here. One thing is that herO, he will know to get a shield battery because he knows that it's going to be a Stargate opener from his opponent. And herO, there's a higher chance he's going to get ready for it. For MaxPax, he has to scout to confirm whether he needs a shield battery. And he's checking. As we mentioned, these proxy locations are so common for Stargate. And he checks the more common location, he goes further in, and he confirms. Yeah, he does confirm. That's the downside of this location. This is where I have to question herO because these locations are so common and so obvious. So of course MaxPax checks here first, and he will confirm, and he may even just force a cancel, or he may even just shut down the pylon. Pylon taking a lot of damage. Oh. Okay, for a moment there I was going for a Phoenix. It is going Oracle first. The pylon took a lot of hits, took a lot of damage. Would you see Phoenix first out of MaxPax? Ay, ay, ay. And this Oracle's just going to be shut down. Here he could cancel, but again, then he's just behind. Yeah, the Phoenix will just camp. Despite that the Oracle does commit. You're trying to break open that front door. Oracle does get into the mineral line, going for the stasis trap. Under reaction! No reaction! No! MaxPax! Oh my god, massive connection, MaxPax. He was otherwise distracted. He was distracted by the adepts. Stasis goes off and he does get every single mineral mining probe. Yeah, 0 mineral income here out of MaxPax. Ay, ay, ay. That should not have happened, but herO to catch up because herO, he is behind when it comes to his tech, is going for the gold. He's going for the gold expansion. MaxPax is making a beeline for the gold base. Or is he? Gonna be distracted by the adepts. He's distracted! Yeah, very fortunate for herO as MaxPax, who was about to scout, about to check. Distracted by the adepts. Behind this Twilight Council and a gateway, getting to a 3-gate setup. More Phoenixes are building up, and he's gonna check. Yeah, MaxPax, he does check the gold. I mean, again, he's playing against herO. Why wouldn't you? Does confirm. Is aware. And herO knows. You can see he's ferrying his probes. Ooh, the Oracle gets in. Another stasis. Even though the Stargate got depowered, even though the Stargate got scouted, this Oracle has actually done a lot of damage. Going for another stasis. Oh, this time it will not complete. This time it doesn't finish. MaxPax, he's moving out. He is fanning out here. I mean, the mineral line is exposed. Here, he actually pushes with his ground army. There is one shield battery here to defend. There's a second shield battery on the way. There we go. Does hit the mineral line. Probe's going to be going down. And here, he's all in. Here, he's all in. Here comes the proxy pylon, the proxy gateway. If there was no second shield battery, I would favor herO here. But again, there's a second shield battery on the way. Has to send it. The Phoenix is already racing back home. Already racing back. Does get the sentry. Sentry goes down. The boys are being pulled. Losing 1, losing 2 stalkers already. Every stalker counts. And MaxPax, he's holding. MaxPax, he's holding on. Now, what's important here is that MaxPax is forced to defend. herO, I say he's all in. He's reprobing. He's resaturing that gold. Like, because of this gold base, economically here, he's keeping up. Getting into another gateway, getting into Blink. So we still have a game, we still have a back and forth. Oh, gets a free Phoenix. Gets one. Doesn't get the other. No Blink. But he can dive on the Immortal. 3 shield bearers, is that enough? Like, oh, he gets baited! Oh, he gets baited! Does focus on the hallucination. That was 2 volleys wasted on the hallucination. But he still breaks through the Stalkers. Yeah, 3 Stalkers going down. Oh, does respond to the Phoenixes. Gets another Phoenix. And MaxPax is being pulled apart. The Immortal is stuck in the back line. The Immortal just no damage. But there's a second Immortal on the way. Another Phoenix falls. Got better control here from herO, but now there's a second Immortal. Despite the control, it may not matter. As the Immortal count is getting higher. Nice force fields. He locks down one of the Immortals. One more volley. Does get one. And he's going for the other. Yeah, it does take down the other Immortal as well. He's done it. He has done it. He has broken the back of MaxPax. Again, the gold base paying off. MaxPax, he failed to punish the gold. Did fail to punish, and with that herO, he has broken the back of MaxPax. I say that there's 1 Immortal remaining. MaxPax barely holding on, but here come the reinforcements, and MaxPax, he should not be able to survive this. GG gets called, and herO, he will take the series 3-2, becoming this week's WardiTV Monday champion. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Congratulations here to herO as he does claim the win, but a shout to MaxPax because even though herO is typically favored in these series and these matchups, we do see that MaxPax, he went all the way to the ace match. He did force the ace match, and I love that MaxPax even went for some aggression himself, went for some cheese himself. We saw MaxPax, if you recall, in game number 4, react with an all-in, like react and punish herO's greed with his own proxy, with his own all-in. So I do love that MaxPax was being a little bit more flexible with his play. This is my big criticism for MaxPax, is that he's very rigid as a player, very rigid, and he often doesn't really explore too often and doesn't really branch out. So I do love that he was a little bit more exploratory here in this series, a little bit more chaotic at times as well when need be. So GG well played. When it came to this game, again, herO got away with the gold. He got away with the gold base, did a great job at hiding the gold base. We saw that even though MaxPax did see it, even though he tried to punish it, he was unable to, though. He was unable to punish the gold. It did get up and running. Phoenixes, he was killing some workers there, but eventually he was forced back home because the Stalkers were threatening him, so he raced back home with the Phoenixes. You could argue that maybe he could have kept them going just to punish and cripple the economy, but he failed to do so. GG, well played. Congratulations, herO does claim the series, and he is going to be our champion. Congratulations. Whew. And with that, we have crowned our first, hold on, there we go, 3-2. 3-2. As we have crowned our first champion of the offseason, and I'm sure there are going to be more to come. Likewise, when it comes to the rest of our schedule, when it comes to the rest of our tournaments, we do have our schedule coming up ahead of us here. Still yet to be updated on screen, but our next cast is going to be tomorrow in less than 24 hours. So typically we have the Sparkling Tunic Cup over the weekend. Typically we have it on Sundays, but this week we had the Fusion Esports League. This week we had FEL, so we could not host our tournament, or we had no intention of like running over the event, or the Polish LAN event, so we did reschedule to Tuesday. So tomorrow is going to be our weekly tournament, the Sparkling Tunic Cup. That'll be next week, or that'll be tomorrow. And of course we have the Pegasus Cup on Wednesday as well. Wednesday is going to be a busy day. We have the Pegasus Cup. We also have OC King of the Hill. Thursday we're going to have the Pondcast and the Sunny Lake Cup as well. So we have back-to-back on Wednesday, we have back-to-back on Thursday. On Friday we should have a bit of a freer evening, thankfully. It should be a little bit more free. And likewise on Sunday we have KSL and SDOC Ducklings Open, and of course the Korean StarCraft League as well. And the Sparkling Tunic Cup should be returning to its typical slot on Sundays, starting on the 3rd of August. Oh boy. So again, it's going to be a very intense, a very busy week for us here, and I hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all had a great time here this week. And again, if you enjoyed this tournament, we'll be back next week. This is a weekly tournament every single week. There are a couple of exceptions, of course, depending on what's going on, but for the most part, WardiTV Monday is here on a weekly basis, and I hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all had a great time. Hope you all had a great time here. If you want to watch the VODs, if you cannot watch us live, and if you see something that you like, but if you can't watch it yourself, at least live, then do check us out over on YouTube. ! Socials in the chat, and we are live on YouTube on a daily basis as well. We upload to YouTube on a daily basis, so there's plenty of content there. If you do want it, it's all over on YouTube. Otherwise, you can support us on Patreon! Patreon in the chat. You'll get a link to our Patreon page. We do fund the Patreon does fund our tournaments. 100% of the money on Patreon goes towards our tournaments. It all goes towards Sparkling Tunic Cup, Ducklings Open, and Master Swan Open as well. It's all done via Patreon. Bam, you can see our 3 tournaments on my right, all done via Patreon, and we even got a new patron yesterday, so thank you so much to our new patron. We are one step closer to our goal of 500 USD a month. Again, all that money goes towards the players. The next goal would be to finally start paying casters and playing admins. That's going to be after this current goal, but we're getting there. So thank you so much for the support. And again, the off season has begun. It's going to be that much more important to support these online tournaments, to support these events, these crowd-funded grassroots tournaments are going to be even more important moving forward. So whether you're supporting us here on the CranKy Ducklings for our tournaments, whether you're supporting Thermal and his crowdfunding endeavors, the Monday Night Weeklies, they have a Ko-Fi. You have Wardy, he has a Patreon as well for his tournaments. I believe his Patreon is more for like the WardiTV festivals and the European League and the Korean League and the other big events that he has. But regardless, you can help support through that. We also, of course, course, have the RSL, the Rival StarCraft League. They have their own Patreon. There's the KSL, the Korean StarCraft League. They have their own Patreon as well. There's a lot of crowdfunding endeavors and initiatives. So if you wish, you can support whichever you do wish to get behind. Regardless, thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for the support, and we'll see you guys next time. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the Sparkling Tunic Cup. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego. See you next time.